for y'all. Sound like the Hodge twins. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are and however you may be listening, we welcome you to another installation of the Screaming Idiot Show. A very special installation of the Screaming Idiot Show because we have drugged back into the studio against his will our most popular guest and actually our first guest on the show, Mr. Derek Muncy. What the fuck's up, my guy?
What is up, my brothers?
Welcome back, man. Not only the first guest, I mean, I feel like you're like an honorary member of the original crew here because, excuse me, all the fucking promotion and shit that you do for us. I mean, we might as well be paying your salary.
Oh, dude,
at this point,
it's my pleasure. Like
I can give you $5.
I've loved every episode. I'm gonna share every episode. I might be a little biased because it might just be bullshitting with my high school buddies, but I love it. I think it's great. Every single episode, I come away with something that I like. And like I said, I used to religiously listen to podcasts for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Is all I've listened to. Yeah, I swear.
Us?
So you guys are beating Joe Rogan right now.
Jesus,
this is
Christ.
the only way that's the only way we would ever beat him because that motherfucker would eat us and spit us back out.
Yep.
So I mean, we'll take it. We'll take a dub over Joe Rogan any way we can get it. So
I love it, and I hope we keep going.
Well, thanks. I want to definitely thank Derek for coming back on. And we recorded for, I think, 3 hours last time, and we could have gone for 6. So grab your popcorn if you're at home with your headphones. Hope you got a long drive if you're in a vehicle. Hang on tight. It's going to be a fun one. We're going to jump right into this shit. And something that we all kind of agreed on that was a very interesting topic and not really something that we've touched on the show is just the topic of guitar, right? And being a guitar player and kind of start to finish, or never a finish, but, you know, where you start and where you're at now as far as being a musician. And I guess we'll just call this guitar segment Guitar 101. And something that, Derek, I wanted to ask you was, you know, when you came on and did the show the first time, did that kind of like inspire or remotivate you to start playing again?
100%.
Yeah, so talk about that a little bit.
We're building a house, and all of our cool shit is in a storage unit. And in the very back and the top of the storage unit is my guitar. It's an acoustic guitar, D'Angelico. I picked it up. I used to have an acoustic Ibanez, red and black.
Oh, I remember that guitar.
That was my first guitar ever, and I learned one of my favorite songs. The first song I ever learned was "Outside," Stained. I hit that first strum on that D'Angelico at a fucking Guitar Center or something, and was like, "I like the tone. I'm buying it right now."
Yeah,
bought it, loved it, sold my other one.
This is the one.
Well, it's I can see it in the fucking storage unit. I definitely can't reach it. So we've been Airbnb-ing for 6 months, and
that's right.
I come here and I pick up the guitar and I'm like, holy shit, I haven't touched a guitar in 6 months. Then, as I said, you know, before, I don't know if I said it on the last episode, but the podcast has kind of reignited my music passion.
Yeah.
And I even had a conversation with my wife about this. I said, when was the last time you heard me listen to a Disturbed song or a We Came as Romans song or a Kill Switch song? And she was like, yeah, you're right. I haven't been listening to the type of shit that I feel like I want to. Or it's like I've been a closet metalhead for the last couple years.
Shameful.
And to come back out of the closet.
I always knew you'd come out of the closet one of these days.
So, I'm fishing around on Facebook Marketplace. From the last episode, everybody knows that I'm a Mark Tremonti fangirl.
Yeah.
And a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I want to buy a PRS. I see some dipshit on Facebook who's selling one.
Bro, don't say that. He's listening.
For $500. I hope he's listening. Buddy, I stole your money.
Yeah, you got
come back and get an extra $100.
Robbed, my guy.
But for $500, he sold me this PRS, an amp, and all the gear he had.
You got a pedal too, didn't you? You got a Boss
NS2.
NS2, is that what it was?
SD1.
Or DS2.
DS2, that's it.
Something like that.
Seymour Duncan pickups.
A little bit of a side note. I know you enjoyed the episode with my dad, but what you don't know about my dad is he's the vulture.
Oh.
and so he will scour around people
Yes, he
and
does.
just hover,
Yep.
and he'll wait until they come down on their price as far as they'll go.
Yep.
Somebody will be selling a guitar for like $500, and he'll hit them up. I got $100 for you. and
Bro,
and
you've
they
had it for
won't
sale
do
for
it.
3 months.
And then they'll hit him up and be like, "All right, look, I'm selling it for $4." He's like, "I got $100 for you." They'll hit him up later on, like, "All right, final price $250. I got $80 for you."
What happened to the other 20? I spent it on booze waiting for you to come down.
Gosh, I have $30,000 credit card debt.
You know what I think it is? I think it's like puppies. Like people get a guitar, like, oh, can I keep it? And then they
Yes.
don't know how to take care of it.
Exactly.
They don't put the effort in.
Yep.
And then they're like, let's get rid of this shit.
Yeah.
Look, pay
It's
Takes
just
up
me,
space.
Exactly.
pay me, and I'll take care of your guitar.
Yeah. Well, so
I got this.
I pick it up, and I told this when I got here. Told this to you guys when I got here today, but I had never learned a riff on an electric guitar, and I think part of it was being intimidated to go out, get it, sit down, and struggle through that first song like I did on the acoustic. Part of it, we had an electric guitar, but it's kind of shitty, and had a little shitty amp, and I never wanted to try to figure it out because the same tools that we have now weren't quite as available. YouTube was just coming around.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like amp settings, I'm fucking clueless. Alternate like certain picking styles or different tunings, I'm fucking clueless. If it's not standard tuning, I just immediately left the YouTube page.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, I got this PRS. I'm going to learn something. I'm going to figure this fucking out. And I'm like, well, what am I going to learn? I got to learn a Tremonti song, at least a Tremonti on the lead. So one of my favorites, all-time favorites, is Metalingus.
Jam.
And I'm like, let's figure it out.
Which is not an easy song to play,
No.
by the way.
Uh-uh.
So the first song, you're like, yeah, that sounds good.
It's
That's-
bar chords, but the
I tell
picking
you what,
pattern is.
I almost stopped. I found myself in the same thought pattern, like, this is too fucking hard.
Yeah.
I'm going on 30 fucking years old. What the fuck am I? I'm not going to be on fucking stage playing this. And then the first time it sounded like, oh, the fucking alternate picking. I couldn't figure it out because when I play acoustic guitar, it's just full chord, strumming up and down, oh, kumbaya shit. So when I hit the first group of notes that sounded clean on the alternate picking, I was like, oh my God, this is it. I want this.
I want to
All
dedicate
the
my
time.
life to this.
Yeah.
And
Questionable time management with my family.
Inside
you
joke.
know, and all I think about too is something that Preston used to say in high school when I first bought my guitar. And I think you're gonna like this.
I promise, officer, it wasn't me.
Yeah. He
Long
says
conversation.
15 minutes a day.
30.
30.
Well, back then
It
was-
might have been
it
at
was
that
about
time.
15.
Yeah. Yep.
But
Every
30
day.
minutes a day.
Every day.
So I bought that guitar 2-3 weeks ago, and I can play the intro to Metalingus and the first part, like leading into the chorus, and the chorus a little bit. And granted, I got a good platform learning 4 or 5 songs on acoustic guitar and picking around and understanding music theory a little bit. But the mechanics is where I'm struggling right now.
Yeah.
And the mechanics and then the gear. That's like where I need to start to bridge
So
the
before
gap.
go ahead.
No,
Preston.
and you may be about to say something along the same lines. So, and I don't want to plug myself here when I say this, but that is interesting to me because I am in several new things that I try. I'm in the same boat as maybe your thought process was. I do not give things time. I try them out, and if I'm not good at it, shortly off the rip, I give up.
It's the curse of talent.
It's a fault of my own, and I would tell anybody that's out there that really wants to play. And I've had people ask me before, and a rule of thumb for myself has always been, looking back on it years later, I played 15 to 30 minutes a day every single day, every single day.
That's the only way I learn. And then too, you you have to suffer through sucking real bad.
You do.
Oh,
So
dude.
that's the
Yep.
thing. Like, and we were just talking about this. It's easy to get a intelligible tone out of an acoustic guitar if you can place your fingers in the right spot and strum up and down in some kind of pattern. You got some kind of melody going. You're like, oh, this doesn't sound bad. I'm not gonna embarrass myself if I go pick up a guitar off the fucking Guitar Center shelf and strum around a little bit, as long as it's not, one of those banned songs on all those YouTube videos that you're not supposed to play. But
Smoke on the wall.
I really want to do that now. I really want to get like play a really clunky Enter Sandman at a Guitar Center now, really fucking loud.
Yeah.
A really clunky one.
just to piss people off. But it's extremely difficult. Okay, so let's go. I want to get Metalingus out of my fucking amp and guitar. That's hard to figure
Where do you
out.
start?
Where do
yeah.
you start? If
Yeah.
you just okay, I know this chord position, or I know how to lay my finger across the second fret
Yeah.
of all the strings. That's a third of the battle,
Yep.
getting that sound to come out the way you want it.
Well, and it's finger position within the fret.
Yeah.
I mean, that is huge. So many people will be too far back in between the frets and whatnot, and not get the right sound or tone out of that. So you're driving me towards a great conversation, and we've brushed over it before. Just the three of us talking about how we learned how to play guitar is when you're starting out, the acoustic versus electric discussion, right? And which one's the right route to go. I think there's benefits to both, and like with an electric, you can hide some mistakes, right? But there's a lot more that goes into it as far as, like you said, tone and feel and different styles of picking. Acoustic, you can't hide those mistakes as well, but you're able to strum chords and different things like that. So, Tyler,
I will say with a raging passion, you start on the acoustic guitar. Fight me, motherfucker. I don't care who you are. Yep. You start on the acoustic.
All right,
Because
well.
I'm going to tell you right now, you start on the acoustic. That's all there is to it. Because you can't hide your shit. And look, don't be a bitch about it. The strings are harder to play on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's going to help you by the time if
Yep.
you play your first 6 months on the acoustic guitar
Yep.
and then you go grab an electric, it's like, dude, this is butter.
Yeah,
Yep.
butter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, this is
The
ooh,
only
baby.
the only thing I would challenge
maybe
you on
for
there.
maybe for your left hand, but your right hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Why only play chords on the acoustic?
Because I'm retarded. We're gonna bleep that one out.
The only thing
Guys, I'm gonna be
I-
honest. I'm kind of retarded.
I'm kind of retarded.
Hey,
'Cause I'm stupid.
retardondo is a musical term anyway. So
Okay,
we're
It
allowed
is.
to say that on this
Exactly.
show.
I'll tell you why. Because
We're an R-rated show. There's very few things we
And I
can't
just
say.
spilled my bourbon
and
all
it's
over me.
I'm chicken shit. That's probably a
Yeah.
better term.
So here's the thing. Like, just for me, it's weird to hear this conversation because most of the Screaming Evidence songs were written on the acoustic. Even our heaviest, our thrashiest style shit was written on the acoustic guitar. And then we threw it on the electric and decided, okay, we want distortion here, we want clean there. But like, you can play anything on the acoustic that you play on the electric. We watched this band called Whiskey Dick. And I watched that dude
Yep.
rip an
Done that.
acoustic guitar.
Yep.
Like,
Yes, it was unreal.
it was one of the most amazing things I ever
I
watched.
wonder what he sounds like on electric guitar.
So,
Or sounds like a guy.
as a guy,
He is a god.
as a guy that started on the electric and didn't pick up an acoustic until I'd been playing for probably 5-6 years or more, I concur with Tyler.
Yeah.
I wish that I would have started on an acoustic. I would be a better guitarist today if I had started on an acoustic. So, in a way, I kind of set myself back, right? Because I was just riffing. Single notes, palm muting,
Power chords.
I mean, shit like
Right,
that.
yeah.
Well,
And instead of learning how to play complex, learning
chord switches,
chord progressions,
Yep.
learning about music. I feel like with acoustic, you kind of force yourself to learn more about music theory than you do on an electric. You can make almost anything sound cool on an electric guitar. I think it actually takes some thought and study to make something sound good on an acoustic one because it doesn't. You can't hide your fucking mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now
It's harder to play.
It is way harder to play.
Through being limited on sound, you are forced to be more creative.
Yeah.
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 Because you can't throw on all these multiple foot
Effects
switches
and-
and
yeah.
effects and pedals and shit to make
12
things
noise
sound cool.
gates.
You can't put on like a super heavy delay and reverb with a little bit of crunch and sound majestic as fuck. You have to sound majestic as fuck just through your hands.
Yeah.
And it's quite difficult. When you take that over to the electric and you play on a guitar, something like a Fender or something that really allows you to be very dynamic in your playing, and it really gives you everything that you put into it, much like an acoustic.
Mhm.
Oh my dude, you're like already miles ahead of so many people. But I also know that so many people that start on the electric, I got a good buddy of mine, his name's Drew, and we started playing guitar around the same time, but he was very much like you guys, where he started with Metallica and this kind of thrashy stuff, very riffy stuff, and he was very good at that. But when we asked him to strum a
That
few
was me.
chords,
That was me.
he couldn't
Yep.
he couldn't flow. He was so rigid with it,
Me too.
and he had no finesse.
I feel attacked.
So you make
I'm just being honest because you were talking about Derek. You struggle with alternate picking. I don't.
Yeah.
I
But you probably
I
struggle
can-
with bing dang a dang a dang a bing.
Yeah.
I do. I do.
But you can alternate picking stuff on the acoustic.
You
though.
can.
That's just
Yeah, you can.
Being a
And I
riffer
think
has its pros and cons.
Yeah, I think like especially if you're into more metal style stuff, like when you're alternate picking on an acoustic, it doesn't give you the sound that you want.
Yeah.
We all know that.
No.
It doesn't give you the sound you want. So you're like, yeah, this is cool, but I want to hear.
Like,
you know what I mean?
But I think it's too the
Wanna hear the
songs. The
girth.
songs
Yeah.
I was learning
All
on
the girth.
acoustic were more vocal driven, I think.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
they're not as creative.
Yeah.
Like outside is extremely easy to learn. Elderly woman behind
Yep.
behind a counter in a small town.
Yep.
Super freaking easy. You can learn that right now. Whoever wants to pick up a guitar, anything by Stain, all that lovey-dovey stuff is all easy chords.
Yeah.
The only, I wouldn't even take the time to learn the bridge of those songs because it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But that being said, I think the reason I've had as much early success on the electric guitar as I have in the last 3 or 4 weeks is because of my competency with my left hand.
Yes.
So I'm not.
You were used to building chords and stuff
I'm
beforehand.
not falling over myself like I was when I first picked up the acoustic guitar. But my right hand competency is where I'm struggling now. And I don't know if that's because I honestly think it's because I want to play faster. Like I think my right hand should be doing more work, and I get excited and I'm like,
So,
your brain works faster than your hand
I have
does.
seen here lately. I've seen several videos on whether it's TikTok or YouTube talking about how so many people are like, I want to play faster, I want to play faster, I want to play faster on an electric, and these guys are showing like you're focused too much on the wrist and not enough on the forearm, and just teaching different styles of how to pick fast, and people are worried so much about how they're holding the pick, the angle, all this shit, hand placement, and it's like you have to find what's comfortable for you when it comes to speed. If you watch somebody like Steve Vai pick fast, and then watch somebody like Dave Mustaine pick fast, they look completely opposite. Like the way Dave Mustaine picks insanely fast looks so painful, but that dude is fucking like
he's got a
almost
lot
60
of
years
forearm
old.
strength.
Yeah.
He wears those forearm wristbands too, right? Keeps that shit tight. So, what's like Kirk Hammett tapes his fucking hand.
Really?
If you ever watch Kirk Hammett play, he's got tape that goes all the way around his 4 fingers right here.
Really?
Yes.
But
Keep shit tight,
Doesn't
keeps
he
it
hold
from
it with
cramping.
more than? Does he hold 3 fingers?
No.
Who?
Nope.
Somebody holds it. It's one of those guys is like
Uh,
a lot of fingers.
it's Friedman.
Yeah.
Is it Marty
Marty.
Friedman?
Marty.
Marty Friedman.
Yeah.
And Michelangelo Badio, too. place
Well,
like
like
that.
I said earlier, the pinched harmonic stuff, the palm mute and stuff, they're just techniques I never picked up.
Playing an acoustic.
But it's like every single electric guitar song that I want to learn how to play incorporates those. And it's like I need to start working on my right hand competency.
So you make a good point, because I remember when I was a kid and I was getting frustrated with, man, my fucking shit don't sound like that. And I would get mad and I want to throw my guitar. And
you do be getting mad and throwing.
First thing you need is about 10 grand.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, yes, gear is important, and I understand that. And we're going to delve into gear.
we are going to dive
We're
into
going to
some
delve
gear.
into some gear, and hopefully there's some gearheads listening.
I know there is.
But
Sure.
when I look back on my progression as a musician and as a guitar player over the years, I remember vividly these many little breakthroughs that I had in playing the guitar. I did not know how to palm mute until Thunder Kiss 65 by Rob or White Zombie. I did not know how to palm mute until that song.
That was the song we both learned how to palm mute too.
I didn't know how to string skip until
that was
I can't remember if it was Polaris that did it.
Mine
but
was a Polaris song that I learned how to string skip too.
Yeah, so
it was
I mean,
off the Mortal Coil.
I think I've been doing string skipping before, but it became much more
Do
prominent.
you remember
when I
what
started
taught you how to
listening.
pinch harmonic?
Bullet taught, as far as I can remember, I believe it was Bullet.
Yeah.
But the overall point of what I'm trying to make is,
I did that on accident. Was like, ooh.
If,
That's
if you are
That's how I
trying
had
to
a kid.
learn,
Love you, babe.
Whoops.
yeah, the point I'm trying to make is, if you are trying to learn an instrument, guitar or whatever is, just keep in mind there are going to be lulls throughout that process. But those many little breakthroughs are the coolest fucking feeling in the world.
You just gotta grit your
Coolest
teeth
thing.
and
Yep.
keep fucking
You
strong.
literally do.
You gotta be like, no, damn it,
You gotta
sit
get
down,
mad
let's
and
go.
you gotta
You're gonna
sit
get
there and
pissed.
keep
I do it
doing
all
Stretch
the
your fingers
time.
out, go get a water,
Yep.
pick it back up.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that's completely changed my thoughts about playing guitar and practicing is running it through headphones coming out of the amp.
Uh-huh.
I never did that before.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm playing guitar, I'm waking the fucking neighbors.
Yeah.
Or my parents.
Oh, you got, yep.
And I sucked. So I was like, I don't want to play this and wake everybody up or somebody hear me in the next room. Now I put the headphones on and I'm clunking around and all you hear is fink, 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 you know.
But when you do that,
My
you're
wife's
able to-
on the Peloton next to me and I'm fucking sitting like,
I would honestly challenge you. The only reason you should put headphones on is if you have to be quiet.
Yeah.
Fuck the neighbors.
Well, yeah, there's
Fuck
that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
fuck
metal.
That's
the
not
parents.
metal as fuck.
Fuck the
Yeah.
parents
not.
in the next room. They bought you the motherfucking guitar.
Yeah.
They asked for this.
You
And
done
guess what?
fucked up,
And
Mom.
guess what, Mom and Dad? I
You
didn't
done fucked up, Aaron.
Guess what, Mom and Dad? I didn't fucking ask to be breathing right now.
Yeah, I want to fucking legit, motherfuckers.
I didn't ask for agony and shit. I'm
What the
gonna
fuck
fucking,
is up, Denny's?
Circle pit.
So yeah, I would just
Yep.
sit out on a fucking porch and sing and play, and knowing damn well I can't fucking sing. And yeah, fuck you, bro.
You got some
Got me
I
again.
didn't even say
Got me
anything.
again. You said,
Grandma drives by. You sound like the screaming
But
idiot.
look,
Bro, I can't sing for shit.
But like, I just did it, and the reason why, one was just kind of a fuck everybody else kind of thing. But I realized early on
I'm
when
gonna
I
wear
started
Jenko
playing,
jeans.
when I first started playing out in front of people, it was very nerve wracking.
Well, it would be if you're playing the BDSM song.
Yeah, and so
I've been a bad boy.
like. Honestly, I just kept fucking playing. I just kept playing shit in front of people, and whether they liked it or not, and I just had to block
Fuck 'em.
out whether they
You
liked
literally
it or
do,
not.
man. You
No.
do.
To be able to get in front of 3 people and play in front of them.
Yeah.
I like the headphones because I can escape it into it.
It feels like you're
But
surrounded
when
by
you
it.
when you unplug the headphones and the gain is up and
All
you
the way.
turn the volume
All the
up
way.
and you hit that, you're like, oh yeah,
I feel like with
it's
headphones,
time.
Yeah.
I feel like with headphones, You are probably more in the space of acoustic in the sense of, oh, I fucked up right there.
I
heard that.
just remembered my this or that. So, but keep going.
Write it down. Write it down. So I personally have never played with headphones. Probably because I'm too fucking cheap to buy a nice set of headphones to do that.
It makes my ears hot, so fuck
Bro,
that.
imagine
I
having
play with
fucking
headphones every
honking
single
ass,
night.
big ass Dumbo ears like me, bro. They don't make headphones big enough to cover these bitches up.
He said,
You can't
"Do
wear
you
headphones
guys-"
when you get XM radio through your ears.
He's
dog.
got the Beat
He
Triple
walks into
XL
Guitar
tall
Center.
tees.
Do you guys have extra large headphones?
What's the biggest set? You got the headphones you sold to Shaq. I need those,
Yeah, but bigger.
but but bigger.
Damn.
Neo,
Well,
long
that,
dong tigers.
that brings me to an interesting point. Being cheap. Okay.
Oh, God.
That's also another
I'm
reason
so cheap, bro.
why I didn't want to get an electric guitar, because I was like, I already got acoustic guitar. Why do I need to spend another couple $100 on a shitty guitar,
This
and
is
then
my new
another
one right
couple
here.
$100 on a shitty amp,
Whenever it gets strung
and
up.
chords and pedals and all that kind of shit?
Speaking of that, we need to string this bitch up.
I've been waiting on you, dog.
Hey,
Oh, you've been waiting on my money,
One
or
thing-
you've been waiting on me to.
Waiting on you so I could show you how to do it.
Okay.
hey,
fair enough.
one thing is you got to tell the people what you're holding. Say it's a cute little Ibanez, right?
Easy now. Oh, sorry. I guess not everybody's watching on YouTube. Yeah, it's a. I'm buying an Ibanez with a Floyd off of old T Scott here because I sold my old Ibanez and I kind of miss it. I love. Oh boy, are we about to dive into gear?
Yeah, let's
I
do it.
love the Super Strat style. So all I've ever owned is Super Strat and a V. I had a Randy Rhoads Jackson. Super fun to play if you're standing up, because obviously a V and a Randy Rhoads with one what do they call it, not a fork or
I
whatever,
know what you're
shorter
talking
than the
about.
other,
Yeah, cutaway.
a cutaway or
yeah.
whatever, yeah, one shorter than the other, but you're still tucking that thing in between your legs and playing like this, unless you're playing up. Now that neck was super thin, super fast, long scale length. It was as long as your Chapman. It was a 20.
Oh, it wasn't 25 and a half, but it was long.
Or 20.
Yeah.
It might have been
Probably
a 25.
25.
Yeah, 25. So it was incredibly comfortable to play when you're standing up. I love the sound I got out of it. But just I got so bored or so sick of, because I mean 90% of the time I don't play live. I'm playing sitting down. Unless I'm over here jamming with these guys or jamming with Scotty, and then I'm standing up. But I got tired of having to play that sitting down, so I got rid of it. Well, then I'm just down to my Strat, and I'm like, man, I need something else. And Tyler is the keeper of all like guitars, and I love this this. I don't even know how to describe it, like natural wood looking Ibanez of his, and I loved mine. And this one's got a Floyd on it, and we can argue about this, Preston. I know Floyds get a lot of hate, but like I love the idea of this motherfucker is going to stay in tune. I stay in C. That's where I'm at 99% of the time. I can have the Ibanez in C. I can have my Strat in C sharp or standard or D or wherever else I want it. Move it around. But me personally, when it comes to body style, I like the Super Strat.
What's the difference between a Floyd and like a locking tuner?
I don't know the technical differences, and maybe Tyler can hit
Tyler
on
probably does.
it. I just don't like
A
the feel of
locking
a
a locking tuner is the tuner itself, the tuner
Well, I know
key,
that. Yeah.
and it clamps down on the string rather than it wrapping around
Yeah.
the key. And it's part of how the teeth are designed inside the key, so that like when it gets to where it's going to be, it doesn't have all this play. So you can have like cheaper keys, and like they'll just kind of by themselves, because of the tension of the string, will like
Slowly
turn it out.
It's like
So
a cheap ratchet.
yes,
Yep.
that's exactly what it is.
Not to get off topic, but do you guys remember probably, I don't know, 10 years ago when Gibson came out with the robotic tuning Les Paul?
Skynet's real, dog. Stay away from that
Yeah,
shit.
that sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
That sounds
What'd
like a
you-
good way
what'd
to
you
break
call
a
it?
string and get it flung in the
Skynet.
eye.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when they came out with that, and they were acting like it was the greatest thing to ever happen to guitars. I don't know a single person that bought one.
I've never even heard of it.
I mean, it was, well, we were in high school. Like I
Yeah.
said, it was probably 10 years ago, 12 years ago. and I thought it was the coolest fucking thing ever. And then I started watching like how it actually worked. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like that would go through a shit ton of strings.
So,
But the Floyd, Preston, you can talk about. Preston is not a fan
so
of a Floyd
before
bridge.
we get into the Floyd talk,
Yeah, I guess I started talking about body styles first.
no,
my
you're
bad.
good. You're good. I think you had briefly mentioned you were talking about being cheap, and I think that was kind of going to lead us into gear
because
talk.
that's also a reason why I didn't want to jump into electric guitar, because of the guitars I was looking at. Like, very
PRSs
fucking
are
expensive.
not cheap.
And I was like, okay, maybe I can get a cheap Epiphone, Les Paul, Meg, but why would I do that when I'm going to spend that amount of money on something else later? Or what if I? That's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still $300, $400, $500 for your whole kit, you know, for everything you need. And to me, I wish I would have pulled the trigger earlier at the small amount of joy it's already brought me.
Yep.
I wish I would have pulled the trigger quicker.
Yeah.
So what I did is went on Facebook, and I think that maybe that's a good starting point. Like, if you're nervous about going out and taking the leap, fucking go buy something on Facebook, because someone's always giving away the dog they don't want, or the dog they don't have time for. I think that's how I got this one for $500 for everything the guy had.
Yeah, again, guitar, amp, chords, pedal.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. You make a good point, and selfishly, because I do it every day, it's what I love to do. Maybe
you
somebody
gear
else
slut?
doesn't.
You
love
are
it.
not cheap with guitars.
No, I'm not. And I'm thankful I'm in a position to most of the time be able to buy what I like, or maybe work towards
I have
what
to
I want.
explain
But
that concept to my wife, like, and I know Preston feels the same way. Like, we got adult money now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we
Play
get
money
to-
now. Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
we get the
and
fucking like.
you had talked about, you had said you're not going to regret it, and that hit me, and I'm like, bro, what is spending $300 on a decent guitar?
Yeah.
What are you going to regret about that?
Yeah.
Right.
Except for it's going to sit in the corner, and you're going to be mad at yourself that you
It's
never
also
learned
it's
it.
also not a depreciating asset.
Yeah, it's
A lot are, unless
No,
it's a
no, they're
Gibson or a
not.
Fender.
it's like
No, they're
it's
not,
like a new
because-
car.
I
It's
disagree
losing
completely.
It's losing the value when you drive it off the
100%.
lot.
As soon as
They
you buy a new
depreciate the shit
guitar,
out of it.
like
They
you can spend
depreciate like
$1,000 on a guitar, you cannot turn around and sell
No, you
it
cannot.
second
But you
hand.
sell
I
for
agree, but
$700.
There's a certain point where if you keep it in pristine, bro, go look up a '78 Les Paul and see how much that fucker
Oh
goes
yeah,
for.
It's
Now, I
because it's
understand-
Gibson.
I
It's
got
because it's
That's
Gibson.
because it's Gibson back
the
when
electric
they made great
the electric
guitars.
guitar that
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
before.
well, that's true too.
I still have it, and I keep it just to make sure like my parents are happy. Like, it's like one of those. It's like a family heirloom at this point. My brother's first guitar ever was in the '90s. They did all these remake lipstick pickup Dan Electro.
Yeah.
I think,
Oh, yeah.
I think
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
I think Brian May plays one,
Yes, he does.
but it's got a dual
Yep.
pickup.
Yep.
Mine's got like two singles,
Yep.
and it's real twangy. I hated it.
Real telly sounding.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
part of the reason why I could never get the sound out of it. I wanted to, so I put it down and be like, I must just suck at guitar.
You could have played a bunch of Rage Against the Machine with that motherfucker.
Oh yeah! Now that I know, I want to
Yep.
keep it so I can learn how to
So,
pay homage to it.
you know, we're talking about.
Oh, but I did before I leave.
Go ahead.
I could sell that probably for the same dollar amount my parents bought it for back then,
Yeah.
but it's still.
It's not as much money. Yeah.
Just because now it's kind of a collector. I think.
So,
Right.
like with cars, the bottom falls out of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of miles and stuff like that. Guitars, yeah, they're going to hit a certain point where, you know, there is a instant depreciation, but if you keep it in good condition, there's a stop point. There's a hard stop for that.
Well, I think a lot of people, you know, that start off don't know how to keep it in good condition. Like, you almost have to be careful getting those secondhand guitars because, you know, you might pick something up and the fucking neck's warped.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If you don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're looking for, or the bridge is kind of fucked up, or I had an acoustic guitar that I paid $20 for, so I wasn't too heartbroken, but because the bridge was fucked up, they had a pencil in there for the nut.
Jesus Christ.
Dude,
I
bet that's
a sweet
tone.
That's metal as fuck.
I traded that thing.
He said that graphite tone.
What's crazy is that it actually sounded pretty good. Like the
Yeah.
top was all warped and stuff, and
Bro, think
had
about-
a pencil for the nut. But I ended up trading that thing for a smoke piece. And whoo,
Think about Eddie Van Halen's Frankenstrat, dude.
Yeah.
That thing was put together. I mean, literally, it was a Frankenstein guitar, and it was beat to fuck. And that dude played that motherfucker every night.
So the one piece of equipment that I got from this guy that I really appreciate, and I might get some heat for it, I don't know, because I don't know anything about it, is that little Fender Mustang amp. It's $159 at Guitar Center right now.
Is it 15 watt?
Yeah, it's a little one, but it's pretty loud.
Yeah.
But it's got so many like preset things that like, okay, so I want to go learn that Alter Bridge song. I flip it over to the metal lead.
Yep.
I make the adjustments, and it's like it dummy proofs that first step for me.
Yes.
So like now I'm like, okay, I kind of understand what's going on here, because I had some shitty amp before, but then when I bought my other acoustic, it's an electric acoustic as well, and I'm like, well, I got to buy an amp with it, and I just got the smallest Orange Crush, which I think it's like Orange Crush 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's got some more effects than what I had before, but it's just pretty user friendly. But still, I was intimidated by that even.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is gain?
Yeah.
How much gain do you use? All of it?
All you need to know about gain is you turn it all the way up.
Oh, you're gonna piss a lot of people off by saying that. A lot of gearheads.
But it's
Fuck the gearheads, all the gain.
It's just one of those things that like don't be afraid to go out and buy the fucking shitty cheap guitar that you might be a little embarrassed about, your first guitar. Keep it forever, make it yours. How many times did you change the pickups on your first Les Paul model you had? I in high school, it was like 10 times. Maybe that's an exaggeration.
I'm a
but
spoiled little fucking brat, so if I don't
Your dad was
like
pretty
it,
fucking good to you.
yeah, by all means, I got a good father.
Shout out Ronnie Dunn.
done deal, baby.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, of course, I go with trends and this and that, and I remember when I was a kid, I got that Epiphone Les Paul it was my first Les Paul that I love that style, just because I was the weirdo that loved metal music, but I loved the not classical. That's not the best way.
Classic.
Yeah, the classic Les Paul style. Like, that's what I liked. I thought it was cool. But then I had these just mid-grade pickups in it, and I'm like, nope, EMGs are the way to go. Got to put EMGs in it.
And this is for context. This is 2009.
Yeah.
10.
Yep.
EMGs were life.
EMGs.
Oh my God, they
were
were a big deal.
I mean, EMGs
Big
was
deal.
it. There, there was nobody was talking about Fishman's. Definitely nobody talking about bare knuckles. I mean, I don't even think bare knuckles was a thing.
But you
No.
You took a kind of base model that's affordable, and made it your own. And you had a pretty cool amp. I think. Did you have that Vox, or you had something?
Yeah, I had a
before that?
Vox. It was.
You might have had something before.
It was
that
a Vox
too,
combo amp that had a bunch of different presets
It
and
was a nice
settings
amp.
on it. It was cool.
I have and had and still have a fucking Line 6 Spider 4 or
Yeah.
Spider 5.
But like, go get that. Get the equipment that makes it accessible, and then once you make your adult money, then you can buy whatever. The hell
Yeah,
you want.
here's my thing, right? Like, my first guitar that I bought, I paid like $150 for, right? And it's a fucking knockoff Strat, and still have it today. People make fun of it all the time, but when you see those like Squier Strat starter kits,
Yeah.
and you want to get into electric guitar, they're like fucking $175. You get a guitar, a gig bag, picks.
You've wasted
cord,
more money
an
at the
amp.
bar.
You know what? You know
Like,
what's funny?
go get it. You're gonna be able to like learn enough to be like, yeah, this is something I want to continue with, and then you can go spend real money on something better.
I forget this guy's name, but he lived
Billy.
down the street from me in Bloomingburg.
Close.
And he was a couple years older, and he's like, we find out we both like metal, and I don't even know if I had a guitar at this point. And he's like, oh, come over, I'll show you some stuff on guitar. And I'm like, sweet. and it was like one of those shitty Squire starter packs.
Yeah.
And he was shredding, and
Yeah.
I thought it was the coolest shit ever. I'm
Bro,
like,
Squire
holy
is a
shit!
Fender. Like, I mean, it's like it's Fender's Epiphone.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
But like that little instance right there, I should have known like how impressed I was with him. I should have been like, why don't I just go buy the cheapest fucking guitar I could find and learn to play? Like,
Yeah.
why am I being such a square
Worry about
this?
tone when you know how to play.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
If I can give anybody advice on learning to play guitar, especially electric guitar, because I can't speak to learning to play acoustic starting out that way, but learn to play before you worry about tone or just
A lot of
overall
people are
sound
the
quality.
other way around. They're like, man, if I get the same setup
Yeah.
as Stevie Ray Vaughan, I'll
I'm
sound
gonna
just
sound
like him.
just like
Dude,
SRV.
that's usually me.
Nobody
That's
nobody
usually me.
sounds like him.
Yeah,
Nobody
well, I hate to
plays
tell you,
like
nobody's
him.
ever going to
Yep.
sound like
Yeah.
SRV. So
I'm like that, especially as I gotten older and I got big boy money and I can go and I can buy what I want.
Yeah.
But I think with this, buying this, taking the step back and learning, I feel good. Like I said earlier, I feel like it's my first time again. I'm a guitar virgin, and
Yeah.
I've just been
The
fucked by this
cherry is
thing.
popped.
So
go ahead, Preston.
I
And
don't
it
know.
feels exciting. I'm
So
excited.
I don't know that we touched on it. So a part of me is wondering, well, why didn't you just pick the acoustic back up? Why did you want an electric?
Part of it
that's a
is
good one.
because it's all the way in the back of my storage unit.
Okay.
I can rate
Instead,
you.
okay, I have two options. I can dig out the storage unit and
I'll
I can
just go to the store and buy
salvage
a
the
new one.
acoustic,
Or go spend
or
$500 and buy a
yeah,
PRS.
just go buy a new one.
It's that
Big boy
problem
money.
where
That's
you have
big.
like
That is like big
Okay.
dick energy, big boy money.
Well,
like, I'm not. Fuck
it's that problem. It's that problem when you're like, I got the time, but I don't got the money. I got the money, but I don't got the
Yeah,
time. It's
yep.
one of those things.
Yep.
There's
Lawyer
that,
probs.
and then you guys getting me back into metal, coming in,
welcome.
coming in that last time, the little band practice. I was just finishing up band practice. We sat down. We've been talking. I've been riff riding on Spotify lately. I know you guys don't like Spotify. That's another thing I want to talk about.
Oh,
But I was like, damn it, I want to learn. And then I remember when I bought it and I sent you the text message, I said, I want to learn some screaming evidence. Because I think it's the coolest fucking thing that my buddy's in a band.
I
and
love learning
and
their songs.
that you guys don't suck. That's the fucking key. I
told
was just
Preston-
right before the show
Some people
started.
may think
I
otherwise.
told Preston
but
before the
that's
show, I was
okay.
like, you gotta teach me that rent free
Yeah,
riff because
yeah.
I don't care how hard it is,
Well-
how long it takes me to learn to play it. I have to learn how to play it.
I was just telling you guys before the show started. I was at a concert. I had your band T-shirt on. Some guy's like, "Oh, who's Screaming Evidence?" I tell him, "Look them up, man. They're fucking awesome." And he's like, "I got a band too. We're on Spotify. Please check us out. I promise we don't suck."
That's your
Guess
first
what?
indicator. Ding,
You
ding, ding,
sucked.
ding, ding.
You
They
lied
suck.
to me, motherfucker. You sucked. It was awful.
Hey, he's probably a good guy. Though.
No, I guarantee he's a good guy. 'Cause he was a good show. It
Yeah.
was,
When I talk
Speaking
about
of
the band,
shows-
it's just like, hey, we we play a hard rock.
Yeah.
I've been compared, we've been compared to like a heavier Breaking Benjamin,
Heavier Incubus.
heavier
You're
Incubus.
definitely a heavier
and
Incubus.
Yeah. That's what I constantly
I'm like,
hear.
check it out if you like it, cool. If you
Ooh,
don't,
Chevelle on there
cool.
too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we hear Chevelle as well.
You know my
We're doing July 7th.
July 7th is
Uh-huh.
that like Moss and Columbus?
You want to go?
I want to go so
Okay.
bad.
We
I'll
already
see you there.
We already bought our tickets.
Did we just become best
I
friends?
owe you money.
Yep.
You do?
Do you want to go do karate in the
I
garage?
didn't, I didn't give you money for the ticket.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
It's
Do you
20
wanna go?
online, 25 at the door, right?
Do you want to go?
Place is gonna be packed. Yeah, we need to go.
Well, we already bought our tickets.
Okay. I'm only going if I get my fucking Screaming Idiot show shirt.
We just ordered them.
Okay. All right.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So, if you're at the
We're wearing. I was gonna say we're wearing
Like
them to
Malls,
show.
the Like Malls concert.
Counterparts, Boundaries, and Omerta.
Yeah.
Boundaries?
Let
Yes.
me talk to the wife. This will be news to her. So, Brittany.
Well, groundbreaking shit on the pod.
Yeah, Brittany, if you're listening, can I go to this
Brittany,
concert,
listen,
Mom?
I was at your wedding, okay, and I drove a long fucking ways to be at your wedding.
You owe me.
Let my boy go to the show.
There's a picture we have of all of us at the wedding,
Drunker than fuck.
and we're all throwing up the horns and.
Oh, we were
shockers
too. We were throwing up
And,
fucking
and it's
horns.
like the
yeah.
whole crew, and it was like I love that picture. That's
Preston
one
and I
of
had
my
to coach a football game before that. We
Yeah,
coached
you
a
did.
football game in Dayton.
favorites. You did.
And where was that wedding at?
Um,
It was like,
on the exact opposite side of the state.
yeah, it was like over past Zanesville, wasn't it?
Yeah. You guys played there before. I was trying to think.
Newark?
Newark, yeah. Newark.
Okay.
Hey, so I just thought of a great this or that. I know we're not going into this or that yet, but we're talking about gear, right?
Yeah.
And I talked a little bit about body styles. And so I'm always curious because there's always two distinct body styles, right? So I'm curious as far as you two, or three, dipshit went to piss, so I kind of forgot he was here. He has that effect.
People always remember me.
This or that, Les Paul or Super Strat body style?
Les Paul.
Les Paul for you?
And it's the same reason why, Preston, I like the classic look. And the classic look and the classic feel. And I got a dirty little secret.
Oh.
I've never played anything other than a single cutaway Les Paul's looking style guitar.
You've never played a Super Strat?
I've never touched a Strat. I've never touched a
When,
Telly.
when we get this
I've
bitch
never
stringed up,
touched anything.
you need to play this.
Yeah. I've only laid my hands on single cutaway acoustics or Les Paul style guitars.
Okay, so you don't really have a great point of reference on the
Nope.
Super Strat. Okay.
No, but the same thing though. I like the classic look. Like I'm not gonna go out and get what's the Explorer or a V. You know, I'm just not going to. That doesn't do the same thing for me.
So I was obsessed with Explorers when I was a kid. Probably because like in the 80s, that's
The
what
thrash thing.
That's what James Hetfield played was an Explorer. At first it was an Explorer, and then it was the ESP version of an Explorer. Excuse me. And for some reason,
he was playing Les Paul's later on, wasn't it? Les Paul styles.
yeah, ESP Les Paul, yeah. But he still plays an Explorer style most of the time. He actually plays a V too. But so I've always loved the Explorer style. Never owned one. I want to. Yeah. I want to own one just for funsies. But for me personally, I've played both. I've played the Super Strats, I've played the Les Pauls, I've played Vs, I've played Explorers in like Guitar Centers and shit like that. Explorers are actually really fucking comfortable because they're super thin and they fit. They sit in my leg like a Super Strat does. They're weighted, balanced, really good. Les Pauls are so ass end heavy to me.
Are.
Like I feel like they're falling off the right side of my leg all the time.
Yeah.
Super Strats balance really nice. Explorers balance really nice. V's fucking suck.
What do you think about?
They look cool. That's
what do
it.
you think about a new guitarist playing standing up?
100%, bro.
And I agree with you.
I
Because
have a problem with it.
I never
I play way
played-
better standing up than I do sitting down.
Really?
I'm the
Like on the
exact
bass,
Well,
I'm the opposite.
You know
I
what's
can't
interesting?
play the bass sitting
I
down
think
very well.
what's partially interesting about
that's-
this
You're
part
fucking out here like
is
this. Instead of like this, you're like this.
old T Scott here got to start playing with somebody who kind of knew the ropes a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Where me, Preston, and Kyler,
Figure it
I
out,
think
man.
are like probably
figure it out, bud.
70% of people who pick up a guitar are just like, I'm gonna pick this
Self-taught.
up.
Self-taught.
Yeah, and
Cheater.
like yeah,
Like, my dad didn't
Tyler.
let me play with distortion until I'd been playing for, like, months.
yeah. That's like those like
He taught you, right?
real gun enthusiasts or bow enthusiasts are like
Yeah.
you're not shooting with sights.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn how to shoot natural
Or no scope, you mean,
no
open
scope.
sights.
Yeah, you're gonna learn how to shoot first, and then you can put all the gadgets on.
That was my old man. See,
Yeah.
my dad didn't teach me shit about guitar, but I a hell of a shot thanks to
Yeah.
old Jamie May.
Yeah, You
But
can be-
no, it's a great point, and I'm with Preston. Learn how to play sitting down first. In my
Sitting
opinion.
down?
Yes,
Yeah.
because
stand up every once in a while though.
stand.
When you
doing
get
both.
comfortable, that's what I did because this is my thought process. I'm gonna learn.
They're totally different.
I'm gonna learn one of my favorite
Completely.
songs. I'm gonna learn a hard song. I'm gonna come in next time I hang out with you guys. I'm gonna be like, hey, look what Daddy learned. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I want to play it standing up, so look cool.
So
your hand, your especially your left hand position is because you're here sitting
Yeah.
down, you're here standing up.
Yeah.
I'm
and
being, I'm
that's where-
exaggerating.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
look,
it's-
man, I'm gonna tell you right now. I got this kid I've been teaching, and I've been teaching him hand positions, and that's probably the hardest fucking thing for
Yeah.
newcomers to understand is that. Look, you might play chords with your thumb up here,
Yeah.
but I'm teaching him how to do little scales, and I'm like, dude, move your
Yeah.
fucking thumb. Bring
Yeah.
it down here. All right,
yeah.
right there,
You're not
kind of in
SRV.
between
Don't
here.
use your thumb.
You can't
in between here,
whittly-diddly if your thumb is
and
up on top.
It's more like you're pinching. It's more like you're pinching when you do that.
Yeah.
So like acoustic, sitting down, standing up, or guitars, sitting down, standing up. You should be moving them hands.
If you can use your thumb, Joe Bonamassa, SRV,
John Mayer.
you're something special.
Do they have like
Yeah.
ape hands or something?
It's really not that hard.
No. What I'm saying is, beginners, keep that fucking thumb on the neck.
Well, I just mean like when I play chords, my thumb is normally like up here, and I'm shaping chords. I mean, nobody listening can see what I'm doing with my hands, but like thumb is kind of high up on the neck. But if I'm doing like more of like the jazz chords, or I'm doing more single note kind of scaly
You
stuff,
look like the dude off Scary Movie. This is my strong hand.
my thumb is typically centered in the neck or even below center.
Yeah.
And
Gives you
I'm
more
almost,
leverage.
Oh.
and
It's
some
all
people
about
will have
leverage.
their thumb like way up here in front
to pick
of
up a
their
guitar
Yeah,
and
no
figure out where
wonder
my
you're
thumb is.
like-
and you
Yeah.
need your thumb kind of
Yep.
basically like your
Lined
thumb
up with that finger. Yep.
your thumb and your middle finger are pinching.
Yep.
It's like you're giving a come here. You're
Yeah.
giving a little come here with
Yeah.
your thumb up top. But what you really need to be doing is giving me like a little talking hand, like a little.
Pretty
rub
much,
on
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to be come here in as much. You're tickling the
Exactly. Yeah.
purring the cat.
Yeah.
So you make a good point where.
Oh, no. Hold on. You two fuckers didn't answer my this or that.
Oh.
What's that?
Oh.
What
Super
was it?
Strat or Les Paul?
Can I pass?
No.
Well, I think we already talked about this once before, where it's like I've always loved.
Sometimes I
the
drink a lot.
Les
I can't
Paul,
remember.
the Les Paul style, and that's what I've always gravitated towards. But since I got this Fender,
Oh, that's right. We did talk about this.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
like
Yeah,
at
that
the
was
same
a special
time,
ed episode.
I'm sorry.
that Ibanez is my first like real electric guitar that I had, and playing on that, and then getting into the Les Paul style stuff. When I got like my Schecter and got a Les Paul at one point, had an Epiphone, things like that. For whatever reason, I loved the style. I think it was more the bridge, because I did a lot of palm muting stuff, and it's easier to palm mute
Yes,
on
it
a
is.
Les Paul style
Yes,
bridge.
it is.
But like, man,
Well,
when I started picking up that Ibanez again, and then I got that Fender, I was like, man, I might
They have a snap.
I might be a Strat dude. You know what I mean?
on your Chapman with that new setup, it's way fucking easy to
Mm-hmm.
palm mute. I know you prefer Les Pauls. I'm sorry.
No.
ahead.
So
You can make your point you were going to make. I'm sorry. I forgot we already talked about
and we
this.
we can touch on that in a second. But I'm actually kind of in the middle when it comes between Les Paul or Super Strat.
You have
style.
both. You have.
Reason being, I think I've mentioned it on this podcast, or maybe it was a conversation that me and your dad had. But I like a guitar to fight me a little bit.
Yeah. it was
Reason
on
being-
Ed's episode.
Probably because a lot of the stuff I play is heavier. It's heavier metal stuff. I want a guitar to give me some shit. Like I don't want it to be this super easy strumming thing, especially a Strat. That shit, it's too easy, it's too thin, it's too wonky. But it depends on what kind of music I'm playing, because I do play anything from John Mayer to say a Monuments kind of style. The guitars I mainly run on my rig right now are a modern version of a Les Paul. They are thinner, they are a longer scale length, typically a thinner neck, with lower action.
And you used to hate thin necks.
So
Used to hate thin necks. But then the other thing is, my dream guitar is a Super Strat, the brand SMP. I've sent it to you guys three different times.
Fucking yeah.
A Super
$8,000
Strat
guitar.
style. No, it's about 3.5.
Is it?
But still.
Might
as well be
eight.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Super
I
Strat
ain't
Like
fucking
mine and
buying
style.
that.
mayonnaise is yeah.
Yeah, a Super Strat style. But the thing I'm worried about, if and when I do get a guitar like that, even though I've played guitars like that, is because of a Les Paul style, I'm so used to that body curve and that type of bridge that my hand won't be sitting like this anymore. It's going to be sitting completely flat, and I'll be limited with my right hand.
I just had like an epiphany. which I'm over here air guitar because I've got a song stuck in my head. But Les Pauls are easier to play standing up. Super Strats are easier to play sitting down. The weight on the ass end of a Les Paul
lets it sit back.
Mm-hmm. And that neck, you do not have to support the neck of that guitar at all.
Yeah.
A Super Strat, you're kind of pulling it up a little bit because that guitar is weighted right at the
middle.
Right in the middle, right where the neck meets the body.
You know, when I watch people play like Strats too, I feel like they are moving it around more.
Yes.
It's lighter.
It's a lighter weight guitar.
But
even though longer scales.
Although, if you ever watch like old Def Leppard, like Steve Clark, that motherfucker had that thing at his fucking shins. Yeah. He played a Les Paul and had that son of a bitch.
Whenever I think of Strat
and you were going to
say
something.
I think of John Mayer. Like whenever I think of
either
him or like any of those more bluesy, jazzy
even
guys.
Pearl Jam. They played Strats.
SRV, dude.
I have
Jimi
one
Hendrix.
thing. I had a question.
You're good.
And maybe this might take too long, but
dude,
what's your rig right now? What's your rig?
Oh, he just got a new setup.
That might be a good future segment when you got like real guest on.
Real guest.
And this. I'm glad you asked somewhat because a part of me is like really giggity, but the other part of me is like I don't want to make.
He say really giggity, 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 goo.
I don't want to make this an hour-long segment because
give me your elevator pitch.
We've only been recording.
I want a 1-minute pitch of your rig. And go.
All right. So, I'm a metalhead. I prefer to be somewhat simple. I want things easy on stage. I did have a Friedman Jerry Cantrell signature. It is a beast of an amp, but it wasn't doing it for me. Didn't have enough ass behind it, so I now run an EVH 5150 Stealth, and I couldn't be happier. With that, a new revelation in my rig recently, instead of having to tap dance with a fucking pedal board and 8 different pedals, I recently invested in a Line 6 HX Effects to where I can create banks for every single song of ours and create 6 different tones per song.
To dumb that down is like, we play Say, I push 1. We play End of Me, I press 2.
Somewhat, yeah. Like so if we were to play Say, I run a clean tone. I have a clean tone in that song, and I have a distorted tone in that song. I have, say, bank 1. It's a bank of presets. Click this little thing for a clean tone. Click this little thing for a dirty tone. Instead of, got to click this on, got to click this reverb pedal off, got to click this delay off.
Oh, man.
It's click back and forth, done. Yep.
So what guitar are you running
mostly? And then I'm running 2 different guitars, but somewhat similar. A Chapman ML2 Pro, and I upgraded both of those with the boutique brand bare knuckle pickups, and I could not be.
I thought you put Ragnarok's in that.
Bare knuckle is the brand.
I know, but I thought you put
Ragnarok.
Misha's.
Yes. Ragnarok is the signature in one of them, and then the silo, which is Rabia Masad.
We got to hear from the bass guy too, since we got to make bass cool again.
Yep.
We should make sure it's like that.
But cool really quick, you make a good point, and I think I cut you off. I'm glad you asked this question because a goal of ours that has been in kind of the back of our minds is at some point one day, if this thing grows to what we want it to be, is the potential to interview bands and do stuff like rig rundowns and stuff like that. Yep. So I'm glad you asked.
Hot dog.
Oh, dude, I don't know if we're not going to go deep into this, but like I remember after the first, it might have been after your episode or whatever, but we kind of sat down together and said, what's our ultimate goal? And I said, I want to, be interviewing Jesse Cash from Era. Like that's my goal eventually for this. So doing rig rundowns and shit like that. Those dudes that have such an intricate setup, and finding out how intricate of a gear setup do you have versus is it more simple?
Yeah.
It's and a lot of these guys, when it comes to albums, it's all plugins and shit.
Yeah.
But I'm more interested in the live shit, right?
Yeah.
What's your rig setup live?
And you guys have said it 100 times over. Going to a live show will completely change your perspective of a band.
Absolutely.
That's what it's about.
For the better or the worse.
Yeah. Honestly, All That Remains was low on my list until we went to that show in high school.
Yeah.
And then All That Remains was 2 on my list forever.
Yeah. Sure.
Yep.
All right.
Bass
Bass guy rig.
Yes.
I mean, I'm pretty boring,
I see.
I'm poor.
What you got
So-
standing over there? Is that what you play on stage?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
LTD.
so my LTD, that's my old tried and true. I've had since high school. It was my dad's. He kind of gave it to me as a gift when I started playing bass for the band. Back when I was like 15, 16. And as far as bass rig, I got a couple Hartke cabs, 4x10s. I have
Even mention my cab.
yeah.
It's a Marshall.
I do have
Yep.
I do have a big ass 15-inch speaker Randall cabinet, and I dare not set that up in this garage because I did once and I thought the rafters were going to fall on me. And I had the volume at like 1.
Now,
But like the head, it's just a Behringer my dad gave me. I mean, I've never really been rocking very fancy stuff with the bass rig. One, because I never really intended to be a bass player.
Yeah.
Even when I was playing bass for the band early on, I still thought of myself as a guitar player, and I eventually ended up playing guitar for the band before and after the Navy. And
Navy.
so I always seen myself as a guitar player. Well, then when we finally went down to a 3-piece and I decided, fuck it, I'm just going to be the bass player, that's when I started thinking a little bit more about what I was going to have, what I was going to play through. But I've just been too broke to upgrade to anything. I would like to get a new bass. My dad got me an Ibanez bass recently, but something's fucked up with the neck.
Yeah, there's some vibration
And there's so much buzzing to it, and it
Yeah.
just pisses me off, so I don't
it's a
even
gorgeous,
I need to get
super
mine.
lightweight.
touch it. It's a
bass.
champagne
Beautiful.
burst.
And it's so
It's
lightweight
sweet.
and thin.
It's
and beautiful.
Yeah.
it really brings out my beard.
I think that'll look cool on stage.
So shameless, like a little bit of shameless plug here. I did ask old T Scott here to teach me how to play the bass because I want to learn how to play the bass.
It's so
So-
fun.
Like I one of my favorite musicians of all time is Jason Newsted, and some of the shit that he was able to do with the bass, especially live, and the energy that he was able to bring to the bass, I'm just obsessed with. And I think, we've talked about it before, I think if I learned how to play the bass, it would also make me a better guitarist.
Yeah,
So
that was one of my favorite segments of any of your guys' show. Was that little chunk there? Like, I can't remember what episode it was on, but you guys were talking about that, and I was like,
Yeah, it's just
I want to learn the bass.
learn
Yeah, dude.
learn a second instrument, man, because
Yeah.
Bass
it's
is
going to
so
make
Well, I told
It'll
you,
make you
I
understand.
grew up in a house with my sister who can play fucking anything.
yeah,
And I was always like, wow. And I'm like clunking on the guitar over here. And I'm
Yeah.
like, how the fuck can she do that?
yeah. I think that the guitar and the bass both are like, I am so not coordinated enough to play drums. I could never imagine myself. I cannot get my hands and my feet to do two different things. But I feel like I could learn the bass.
Yeah.
So I have tasked Tyler, which we need to get on. I mean, I've picked it up. Before you came in here tonight, I was dicking around on the bass just because
Well-
I think it's fun to play.
That's
Yeah.
one thing I will say. Between bass and guitar, I find more joy playing the bass on stage than I ever did with the guitar. Partly because I think I'm more naturally gifted towards the bass than I am the guitar.
It's the
And you're more,
groove.
yeah, exactly. He's more groove and rhythm oriented.
The other thing is, because I feel like bass comes easier to me than guitar ever did, and I feel more confident with it. I don't feel so stressed out on stage about like, am I going to fuck up or anything? Because
I'm going to say, watching you play on stage, it's worth the $5, $20, $30 you pay.
Dude, who's the craziest motherfucker in every band you ever watch live?
The bass.
It's the bass
They go
player.
nuts.
They go
Dude, you know what-
fucking
you know what I-
insane,
Lose our minds.
dude.
I'm gonna. I think I alluded to it on the
That's why I
last
love
episode,
Newstead, dude.
But I'm a little bit of one. I'm one of those tool guys, you know. So they have some fat bass lines, and I just want to.
That's the only bass line I know how to play.
Yeah.
Is it
I
I
want to learn how to play a couple of those bad boys because they got some fat bass lines.
Yeah.
Bass is just cool, dude. Like there are certain bands that made bass cool for me,
Yeah.
and Tool was definitely one of them. And believe it or not, Metallica is too.
I actually
Like
have-
if you
I have a Spotify playlist called Sacred Geometry, and I every so often I get in the mood, and it is the otherworldly, the stuff that's gonna take you on a trip in your favorite rocket ship. Like I will literally put on Tool.
Not to a place called Auschwitz.
Yeah, I would. That's a great meme, but I will literally like meditate and listen. And I started doing it in college, like listening to songs that are, we'll say, a little more metaphysical than others.
Is it the Fibonacci
Yeah.
code? Is it did I say it
Lateralis.
right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Fibonacci sequence.
Fibonacci sequence.
Lateralis. Yeah. That whole thing.
Josh Ader. Shout out Josh. I hope you're
Yep.
listening.
Josh, we're gonna force you to listen to this podcast, you little shit.
Yeah, Josh was the one that got me into Tool in high school. Well, in late middle school. Josh and I went to school from preschool all the way through,
Yeah.
right? Josh is the one that got me into Breaking Benjamin. Josh is the one that got me into Tool. And he taught me about the Fibonacci sequence
Yeah.
and all of this shit about. He's like, bro, you ever seen the meme of the dude with like the red twine and all this shit?
Yeah.
And this dude's like this for the people watching on YouTube. That was Josh explaining lateralis to me, and I'm like,
On the last
Yes.
episode, you mentioned how Josh got you into Breaking Benjamin.
yes.
He got me into A Day to Remember.
Yes,
Seriously?
he's a giant.
Yeah, because I never heard it until I
Remember
moved to
fan.
Trace.
Yep.
And we're
You
freshmen.
Preston got me into it.
Yeah.
He's
We're-
a giant.
I had never heard of it, and Ader's like, "Yo, bro, check this shit out." And it's
Ader's
like,
all-
wham.
Ader was like the fucking the beginning of
It's-
a lot
you
of
know,
my metal.
It's like me. He's got older siblings that got good music
Yes.
taste too.
oh,
Yep.
big
Yeah.
Randy, his older brother would jam some good shit too.
Yeah.
That's that whole family. Shout out to the Ader
Now,
family. There's some good
We've
ass
heard
people.
what the bassist rig is. What's your go-to guitar rig? Or what are you playing right now?
Well,
Acoustic.
I bought Preston's Friedman.
Yep.
Oh, you bought
And-
that Friedman?
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Oh,
my
I made sure it
intention,
stayed around. The clean channel's fucking unreal.
my intention
That
was
5150
to get
though,
certain
is just
pedals to work with that. But I do have a Fender Strat. It's from the 80s. I forget which year. The fucker is a beast, and it has
beautiful.
changed my life. I also have a Schecter Diamond Solo Elite.
That weighs about 60 pounds.
No,
Actually, it's pretty light.
Yeah, it's light.
But
If it's the Schecter I'm thinking about, that fucker's heavy.
well, it also,
Lighter than a bass.
compared to what, you know what I mean? But like
You see
compared to
these guns?
bass, a lot of things are
These
pretty
guns
light.
over here, they hold up anything.
But that Schecter has kind of been my go-to for a long time. I do have an old school Epiphone back when like Epiphone was like really fucking sweet guitars.
You bought an Epiphone Studio for the boys too.
Well, and Epiphone,
I did, but this Epiphone, look, it is a Flying V, and it's got pickups in it from some old SG, and that fucker sounds mean as fuck. But like you were
real
saying,
snappy.
the V's just suck to play.
they do. Sit
and
down.
it's so
for
top
sure.
heavy, so it's like I'm supporting the neck the entire time I'm playing. So
That headstock on a V is this fucking big and weighs like 6 pounds.
You need to like counterbalance it like a pulling tractor.
yeah.
yeah.
So,
hang
like-
weights off the bottom cut out.
Could you
yeah.
imagine?
Yeah.
So yeah, before I got the Friedman, it was a Black Star.
Yeah.
Was my main setup, and I got some pedals. I actually bought a cheaper brand that was new at the time, and that's kind of why they was cheap. But I don't think they really took off. Outlaw is the brand of pedals, and they were cheap, but also pretty
They sound pretty damn good.
pretty
for the
good
money.
quality, man. They
Yeah.
sound great for the money. Like the chorus, and I was even going to get the reverb, but the chorus and delay sound really fucking good, really clean, really clear.
So now that we know what the semi-professionals play, what's the amateurs playing?
Buddy, I mean, I'm cheap. I'm very cheap.
I like that.
I just, my thing is, and I've talked about it on this show, is I'm fortunate enough to have access to all this.
Yeah.
So I just have like I said, I still run that fucking same Line 6 amp that I had in high school at home because I can come over here and play on the high quality shit.
Yeah.
I leech off of these motherfuckers because they have to buy the shit because they're in a band.
Yeah.
I don't. So when I play at home, which I play at home every day, I still play on that fucking Line 6 Spider amp that is, like you talked about, Derek, you had that amp or have that amp that has a lot of presets. I've got a clean, I've got a crunch channel, I've got a metal, and then I have an insane channel.
Yeah.
But I play with it. I have my settings that I like. So I'm a little, don't take this the wrong way, but I guess I'm a little more advanced than you in where I know where I want my treble, my mids, my basses to be. And I have them set certain ways for certain channels. But that's it, dude. I don't run any pedals at home. My favorite amp to play on, though, no shit, is that fucking Spark.
Oh, dude.
That
Those
is
are so
Changed my fucking life.
So-
I told you about it for a year and a half, bitch.
I just saw that on a fucking Instagram ad, and I was like,
so.
this is what?
So obviously, I'm buying this Ibanez from Tyler, and then my next purchase will be a Spark for home.
Yeah.
But like, I'll come over here, and if the guys are here playing or Scotty's here, or whatever, I'll just plug into Preston's rig. Actually, normally I plug into Sean's rig. Because I like Sean's setup. It's a lot more.
And I'll talk about Sean's rig.
Yeah, I'll let Preston dive into that. But so for me, when I'm at home, man, I don't need much. Like, I'm just dicking around. If I want to play on something that is a lot more diverse and complex and is going to give me a lot better sound, I'm here once or twice a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, amateur guitarist over here.
Dude.
I just run some cheap ass shit at home. I come over to the sanctuary to play some good shit.
I want to talk about the Spark for a second because this really did change my fucking life.
It's
and
incredible.
what's crazy
we need
is
an ad.
look,
Spark sponsored the podcast.
Please.
Let's go.
Well,
we
Spark,
love your
come on.
product.
yes, but
It is
look,
Positive Grid is the company.
yeah,
Positive Grid.
Yep.
Hey, get your shit together, Positive Grid. Get your number. Their attorneys right here. We'll give you a call.
let's go.
Our
So
attorney
like,
will work out
I've
the
always
contract.
been very, I guess, kind of old school
Yes.
with what I do. Part of the reason I always played the acoustic more is because I didn't feel like taking the time to set up my shit, to turn on my amp, and play electric. Now, when I was playing guitar for the band, that was different because, I'm doing that multiple times a week anyway, and normally would just leave it set up. Well, I haven't played much guitar in the last few years, especially since Preston joined the band, because I really never had to. When we were a three-piece, I would still play guitar sometimes when we would be writing stuff just to kind of help. Maybe, I've kind of joked around about it on the show before, but like Sean would teach me a riff that he's working with, and I would have to sit there and play it for fucking hours while he wrote lyrics to it. So I was still playing guitar then, but the last few years since Preston's been in the band, I haven't really played, and part of it's because my shit's not set up. Like, I don't, like, my Friedman's sitting up on a fucking rack right now, and, I just don't have the room to have something set up all the time. But, dude, Preston kept talking about this Spark, and then it was around Christmas time this past year.
Merry Christmas.
And yeah, I was
Happy
checking,
Christmas.
I was checking out some Sweetwater deals,
Merry Christmas.
and
Merry
it was on sale for a pretty good price, and so I bought it then. And when I set it up and started tinkering with it, first, what was so cool about it is I was playing with my headphones, and it was this situation of I would put my kids to bed, and I would sit in my room, and I'd put my headphones on with that and get any fucking sound I wanted. And I was just lost in the sauce for like days.
Yep.
And I would find myself, kids would go to bed around 9. I'd take care of a couple things around the house, sit down around 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I'm like, yeah, I'll play for 15 minutes. Look at the clock, and I've been playing for like 2 hours. And I'm like, fuck, I was supposed to go to bed.
Yep.
I mean, Derek, when you think about how good that PRS of yours sounded on that Spark,
Yeah, so
I'm not saying that's all the
dude.
amp. I mean, that guitar sounds incredible, but like, you can get anything you want out of that Spark amp.
so
But yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
like the fucking, the old Spiders. I had a Line 6 Spider, and it gives you a bunch of different options and stuff, and it's got a pedal that can go with it.
Oh,
and you
bro,
can
it's
set
nothing.
the the
Nothing.
presets and stuff.
No.
But like, the Line 6 didn't sound that good.
No, they
No.
don't.
It
No.
really didn't sound that good, and so
It
I
sounds
really
great
didn't
to
care
you
to
when
mess
you're sitting
with it.
2 inches away from it.
So I ended up giving my Line 6 to my dad because I accidentally blew up his Line 6 head. Funny story, but
Oh, we've told it before.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, I've heard
so
Yeah.
if you haven't heard, go back to listen to the
Special
Charlie
Ed.
Special Ed Scott show.
WKPUSS5.
that was the
spot
best
on your
sign
radio.
off. The what do you say? The tickly spot
The
on your
tickly-
knob. The fuzzy spot on
the
your
fuzzy
knob.
spot on your knob. Yeah.
Oh,
So, no, I'm telling you what, I was debating because I wanted a new guitar. I needed a new guitar so bad, and I thought, man, I'm gonna pay about the same amount for a new guitar as I am for this Spark because they're not cheap. And I'm like, what do I get first? I'm like, I get a lot of buzzing out of the 6-string on my Strat. I need a new nut. It's worn out. It's an old ass guitar. It needs the neck's kind of warped. It is what it is. I'm like, I really need a new fucking guitar. So I decided to buy this Ibanez from Tyler first, and then get the Spark after. So
I think I'm gonna make the investment in it.
oh, dude.
I think I'm gonna sell. I think I'm gonna sell that.
I'll go halvesies with you.
Yeah, so my rig right now is this 245 PRS SE 245 that I stole from a guy for $500.
Yep.
Go get you one. It's been
It's
pretty
the
cool.
McCarty knockoff, and it's sweet.
It's pretty cool.
And knockoff's the wrong term, but
It's pretty cool.
the SE version.
It's
of
the SE
McCarty.
version. Yeah.
Yeah, and I bought it because I want to see if I like it before I make the real investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you're gonna
then-
pay $1,000 for
Yeah.
a quality PRS,
Well, the,
right? I mean, you're gonna pay.
Oh yeah. Well, the
What's Tremonti's signature?
you
A
can
McCarty?
you can get
No,
single
price
cut?
wise.
you can get the SE under $1,000,
Okay.
or when you start
Which-
getting into his custom stuff.
God,
You're probably talking
I
2 to
have
3.
a
1,
great.
2, 3. He's got 2. He's got like a signature, and then he's got his guitar. You can buy his guitar. I'm either gonna buy his guitar or go on with like a maple neck.
I have
Yeah.
a great top. Like just real quick.
Okay.
Do we
Money's
wanna
not.
talk about Sean's rig?
Oh,
first?
Yes.
money's not an
Okay.
issue.
Yeah, hold on. We'll get to it. Money's not an issue.
Okay.
Preston, talk
Real
about
quick,
Sean's rig because I
um,
love Sean's rig.
No, any gearheads out there? Sean's rig right now is a Marshall 4x12 cab. I don't know the exact version of the Marshall cab.
Is it same cab as yours? Is yours a
Does it have
4x12?
Celestian greenbacks?
Is yours a
Okay.
4x12?
Mine's a 4x12
Okay.
as well.
But you're running a 5150 head
Yeah.
because you didn't talk about that.
Yeah, so it's a 4x12 cab. Mine's a 4x12 Marshall cab. And I recently found out from another gearhead buddy of mine that it's actually a well sought after cab that was made years and years ago, is not made anymore. And my dad bought it for me with a Marshall solid state head when I was 16 years old for like $500 combined.
Is that a
Mind
tube? That
My
5150?
amp is, yeah.
Yeah.
The amp's a tube
I
amp.
thought so.
But then Sean's rig. So he's running a 4x12 Marshall cab and then a Hughes and Kettner, I believe it's called a Grandmeister or
That
something like
sounds
that.
right to me.
It's a 40 watt and it sounds sweet. And then pedal wise, he's running it's a Rev. I can't remember the exact model name. So it's Rev's, the brand Rev. It's their version of the Horizon Devices Apex preamp.
There
so
you go.
it bypasses the distortion channel of the amp, and it has its own distortion channel through the pedal. And then guitar wise, he's running a Epiphone Les Paul Prophecy series from years ago that has EMG pickups in it. And then he also has a Strat that
Which is perfect for a rhythm guitarist.
yeah, and then he also has a Strat that he modded out and put Seymour Duncan Black Winter pickups in.
I love that guitar.
Yeah.
It's also
Love that
HSS too.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. No, it's double humbucker. It's a humbucker in the neck.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's double humbucker.
I
Yep.
love that Strat.
Yep. He put. I
But
think
he has played your Chapman here lately.
it
too.
originally had a black pick guard on it, but then he did like the pick guard where you can like buy the pick guard and then put the pickups like mounted into it. He ended up doing a white pick guard to the Strat, so it's a very unique Strat.
Yeah, it's a
Very
Frankenstrat.
unique.
I mean,
Yep.
it's a Frankenstrat. So, I love Sean's setup. I love Preston's rig too. But
There's a delicate balance between the two.
there
I
is,
would
and
say.
you guys have done a really good job of a rhythm guitarist rig and a lead guitarist rig. You guys have done a great job of rivaling those two and giving yourselves your own unique sound. And then Tyler, with Tyler's bass rig, the thing I love about Screaming Evidence live is you can fucking hear the bass. You can hear the fucking bass.
You can see it too.
One of the greatest metal albums of all time is Injustice for All, and you know what you can't fucking hear? Jason Newsted on the bass.
Yep.
Go watch bass playthroughs of any song off of Injustice for All, and it's some of the best bass work you ever hear, and you can't fucking hear it on the album. And all the members of Metallica talk about to this day how much they fucking hate that record because the production sucks so bad on it, and they're like, they did Jason dirty. But anyways, money's not an issue. I want your dream guitar, bass, electric, I don't care. Your dream setup.
Right now,
money's not an option.
For me.
Go ahead.
Because I'm just getting into electric guitar, and there's really only one guitarist that inspired me to get into electric guitar. I'm buying Tremonti's whole setup.
Which is going to cost you
the
about
PRS Tremonti amp, the new 100 watt.
Yeah, new his new shit. I'm buying his guitar from PRS. That's probably
that Les
$4,000.
Paul.
He used to play Bogner amps.
Yeah.
He used to play Bogner.
I'm pretty sure if you want his guitar, you're getting like $4,000.
Yeah,
and it's still not his guitar.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
And the only reason I say that is because that's just my favorite shit. Like I feel like his system. If you listen to his solo stuff, I feel like his whatever platform he's playing on is versatile enough to where if I ever had the urge to learn a Polaris song or
absolutely,
like I could start heading that direction.
It's got all the game, buddy.
Yeah, like I could start.
Yeah,
and you get the clean tones.
Yep.
Which is, I think, a signature of his is pretty cleans, and then some chugga chuggas too.
Dude, he is one of the best. He is one of the
He's versatile.
Best finger picking.
He can spin left. He can spin right. Don't make no difference.
Motherfucker hybrid picks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Tremonti's whole.
I think I have to see that because I'm slightly uneducated on everything else. That being said, I like that Chapman guitar.
Mm-hmm. And hey, gearheads, I understand Chapman gets a lot of hate. Yeah. Whatever, talk your shit. I got 2 of them, and they play like fucking butter. I did have to change the pickups in both. I understand that, but I'm bougie. I told y'all that.
He said I'm bougie. He said I'm bougie.
You know what we should do is post a picture of the one he just did, and where Kyler was bitching about the nickel pickups.
They just don't look as good to me on that guitar.
I think
Twitter should settle it. Nickel or not.
You know what? That's what we should do. We should let Twitter settle it.
I've always liked the covered pickup look over open chord.
Yeah.
Tyler, dream setup.
So I got really more on the guitar side. I don't geek out on gear nearly like Preston does. I don't even gear out like you do, Kyler. Like, you probably know more about some of the gear out there than I do. I know how to make it sound,
but I'm pretty.
I know how to make it sound the way I want to because I've always kind of had to work.
Preston
with what
already knows where I'm going to go with my dream setup. Probably.
So
I have an idea.
Preston's a gear slut.
I'll talk about.
The thing was,
I'm just a
beforehand,
gear stripper.
The thing was, and I understand we want to let Tyler talk. Shut up, bitch.
Jesus.
I'm getting over a cold, you cocksucker. Quit making me laugh.
I was never like the biggest gearhead before until I got into.
You are the most unsatisfied whore ass.
Hold on. Until I got into the YouTube community and I'm seeing
that's
this
his
stuff,
problem.
Yeah. And I'm like,
this motherfucker.
Okay, well that's how they're doing that. That's how he's doing that.
Everything.
Holy
like
shit,
that.
that's fucking cool.
Yep.
So then, oddly enough, that's what I got into. But yeah, I'm bougie about it now, and I'm thankful that I'm able to invest in that kind of stuff as well.
So Tyler, your dream setup. Are you going bass or are you going electric here?
We're gonna talk electric first.
Okay, I want your bass
PRS.
setup too because
I know it's PRS.
So look, I already have the Friedman, and so I'll talk a little bit about what my goals are. I have the Friedman. Preston had some issues getting the sound he wanted out of it. I think it gives me exactly what I want, which is why I bought it from him. There's a couple Strymon pedals that I want.
Strymon's fucking incredible.
So they have I don't know the exact models, but they have a particular reverb and a particular overdrive pedal that I want. What's super awesome about both of them is they have 2 channels on each. So on the overdrive, you have like overdrive A and overdrive B, and you can set them to different settings, but then you can also use them together. So there's that. And then there is the reverb, which is the same way. And what I always had trouble with pedals is just the lack of versatility while I'm playing live.
Yeah.
And it's like I either have to buy 2 of these pedals or I'm making adjustments mid-song. So I think having those 2 would be just enough without making it too complicated while you're playing live. And they sound amazing. And I think I can get just about fucking anything I want out of having those 2 pedals. Plus, honestly, I'm really happy with the delay I have with that Outlaw pedal. I think having another one would be cool. And they're cheap, so it's like, it was like $50-$60 per pedal, maybe even cheaper than that. I can't remember, but like having 2 little delay pedals, one set for more of a, quicker but less repeats, and then one set a little bit longer with a little bit more repeat to it. I mean, I got the chorus pedal. I don't use it a ton, but like with that setup right there, with the Fender I already have, and even my Schecter, I can do a lot. But a guitar I've had on got my sights on, but I'm going to need to hit the lotto because I'm poor, is a PRS semi-hollow body. I think it's the C2 or something like that. And it's a beautiful guitar. I fucking love semi-hollow bodies.
Who plays that?
Dude from Shinedown.
Shinedown.
Semi-hollows.
Zach something.
So
Well, the
Zach
thing
something,
is,
Zach
look,
something,
they
yep.
sound so
Help us out, Google.
full, man.
Yeah.
And
you can forget all the gain, bro.
you don't need all the gain.
I need all the gain.
You don't.
You don't need all the gain.
yeah.
Look, I can make that sound
our next
dirty
Screaming
as
Idiots
fuck.
shirt is going to say all the gain on
All
it
the
because
gain.
we say that
That's okay.
all the time.
We do,
But
but
you actually
in-
don't
in
need all the
reality-
gain.
I know, you don't
In
need all the
reality,
gain.
Heavy metal
I
hot
can-
take. You do not need
You
all
do
the
not
gain.
need all the
but
gain.
think about it.
Let's
If
turn it
I'm
out
going to
on
play a
9.
song that needs all the gain, I'm going to play my Schecter.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
The
or
pickups-
what I
Chapman.
can
The
do,
pickups are giving you the gain.
right when
Yeah.
when I'm looking
hotter.
at playing more bluesy stuff or softer
So,
stuff,
you
or
said-
more like lead heavy, I'll probably play the Fender. But the semi hollow body, I'll be able to do whatever the fuck I
You
want on that
said
thing.
the perfect word for a semi-hollow is full. A semi-hollow, now a straight-up hollow body, I hate. They're so boxy
Yeah.
sounding.
At least that's belt and suspenders.
Yeah,
man.
dude,
You
it
got,
is.
you,
It
you
is.
got you
It
got
is.
you got
Yep.
penny loafers on and
Yeah,
suspenders.
yeah,
Yep.
and a
BB King.
straw cowboy hat. A semi-hollow is giving you a very full sounding tone, mid gain, mid bass, mid treble. It's a very unique sound to it. I struggle with it because I don't thrive in that space. So a semi-hollow style, right? You're playing a specific tone of music, and I don't thrive in that space. So that's why I shit on semi-hollows all the time, because I just don't thrive in that space. A semi-hollow, there's not as big of a margin for error, right? You have to be on your shit when you're playing something like that. A hollow body, I just think they sound like shit. What the fuck is Gibson's?
335.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
Ted
have
Nugent's
Yeah,
guitar.
I have a
335.
buddy who plays one, and I'm gonna cut you off, and I'm gonna
No,
give
go
you
ahead.
a local band shout out. Save the Lost Boys. It's a punk band out of Dayton.
Okay,
Lee,
I love punk.
you're my boy, but I'm pretty sure he's playing a hollow body on their tour right now in Texas.
Okay,
They're
is he playing?
They're doing like a mini tour.
Is he playing a Gibson?
I'll have to show you after this.
Yeah,
I'll have
let me
to pull
know.
it up. But Save the Lost Boys, it's like a punk pop group. Blink is their big influence.
They're breaking
they,
up.
They got some good shit though. Save the Lost Boys. Their new stuff's pretty good. They're on some kind of mini tour in
Not
Texas
Save the
right
Lost
now.
Boys. Blink 182 is breaking.
Yeah, Save the Lost Boys. Save the Lost Boys got back together. Lee's studying for the bar. He was a clerk with me in the Southern District Court of Ohio. So, smart guy. And look at that. He's a punk rocker.
And
That's awesome.
our lawyer,
punk
the
rock.
Screaming Idiots show's lawyer, just happens to be a metalhead. So how
Yeah.
great. So, did you cover all your rig or all your?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as electric goes, that's
I want to
pretty
hear
much
your
what I'm
bass
looking for.
unlimited setup.
As far as bass,
Can you do that much? Like, is there much of a rig?
here's the thing, man. With
spectrum on
with
the
the bass, you have
more
as
about
many.
pickups?
It's much more limited.
Is it more with pickups?
All right, so with the bass, you have about as maybe not as many, but kind of the same options out there for like your amp as I mean you really want. I mean, as far as cabinets, I feel like Harkeys are becoming kind of the standard like Marshalls.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the head, honestly, I've been pretty cool with what I got. I think it's easier to please with bass rigs than with guitar rigs.
Mm-hmm. Guitar's got a little
I
ego
do-
lumped in there.
I have played through a couple orange heads
Mhm.
for bass that I enjoyed. I played through this Behringer. I used to play through a Crate. That Crate actually, rocked the fucking house. I had, a 212 cab, which was a bitch to carry around, but it gave me kind of what I wanted, and then this Behringer gave me more punch, and that's why I kind of play with it all the time now. But what I'm looking for right now on bass, and I really haven't looked into the gear to know what's going to give it to me, I want something that is going to sound super, super smooth when I want it to be, like when I'm playing behind clean riffs and stuff, but have enough kind of pop to it for it to come through the mix. I don't play like Fender basses and stuff, like the Jazz Masters and stuff. I don't like playing those because to me they're too poppy.
Yeah.
I like more of that low rumble, kind of smoother attack. And, I do want the punch. I do want a little bit of attack in there, but I don't, that's why I don't play the Jazz Masters and shit like that like some people do.
You know what I like about this conversation? I like Tyler because he's a meat and potatoes kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
He meat and potatoes.
He is.
Give me
Yep.
give me an amp, give me
Yep.
a bass, and I'm gonna mix
Well,
you
it's
up some
like-
dinner.
It's like
Meat
this.
and potatoes.
Like
Yeah.
I said earlier, I always had to work with what I had. And I had more than a lot of people because of my dad, and he had equipment, and I was able to get stuff from him. But him obviously being from an older generation with, more just the meat and potatoes, that's kind of what I had to work with. And so I had to learn how to get the tone I wanted out of having very little. But I do want to start incorporating, maybe get a little bit
Put a
of
little seasoning on that meat.
little season
A
on
little
it. So
seasoning
like
on the meat.
as far as gain, dude, I'll tell you what, I've been listening to a lot of Chevelle lately, and their bass player's tone is nasty.
Jesus.
And it had to be because it was a three-piece.
Such a full
and so
sound, dude.
Yeah.
they needed the
Chevelle's
bass
a three-piece?
to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
They
Yeah.
Chevelle they
Think
needed
of how
the
wide
bass
that
to do
shit
something
sounds.
more.
yeah.
So
Think of
when
how-
when we
yes.
became a three-piece, I actually went out and got a distortion pedal. It's an MXL pedal and
MXR.
MXR, that's right. And it's got the built-in compressor, the built-in gate. I'm able to do a little EQ on it. I'm able to make adjustments to the kind of dirty channel on it. And it was really with that we started getting a more fuller sound when we were a three-piece. And now that Preston's in the band and we're starting to get heavier and heavier, I mean, I kind of like having a little bit of that dirty tone to the bass. So I'm looking to
It's like a grittier feel to the
yeah, I'm
newer
looking
stuff.
to
Yeah.
develop that side of it because I'm still kind of new to it, and I know there's a lot of different shit out there that you can do with the bass. You can get whole fucking rack mounts with all these different things in it. It's fucking crazy what you can do, but I'm looking to develop the dirty side of it, and I want the clean side of it to be buttery smooth.
Yeah.
As far as basses,
And
I haven't
rumble.
really. I need it to rumble. If
Yeah.
it doesn't rumble, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
I need layers.
Yeah, but
That's
like,
what I like. Layers.
as far as bass guitars, I haven't really geeked out on them, man. Like there was a PRS I played when we went to Sweetwater in Indiana. Where's it?
I believe it's. I think it's
Indiana?
around the.
Well, I almost
the
said
Sweetwater-
Indianapolis, but
I believe
Fort
this-
Wayne.
Yeah, I
Fort
believe
Wayne.
it's
Fort Wayne,
Wayne,
Indiana.
Yeah.
so
I
we went to
couldn't tell
Fort
you.
Wayne, Indiana, and we
I didn't know there was a Sweetwater
That's-
there. I'm in
hey,
fucking Fort Wayne
For
all the
all the
goddamn
listeners
time.
here, one, I will preface this with: if you're not a gearhead, stay with us. I promise you, we're going to get into topics that you're
yeah.
going to love.
Yes,
We're gonna
I'm
hit a
sorry.
banger
Yeah.
soon.
We are nerding out on guitars and shit.
Yeah.
so
So that's
Stay with us. We'll
it's
get there.
completely fine if you're not into it, but we're going to get there. The
Yeah,
other
I,
side of it, if you get a chance and you are a gearhead, or you just want one badass musical experience,
Sweetwater.
go to the Sweetwater headquarters in Fort Wayne because
Their headquarters is in
fucking-
Fort Wayne. Motherfucker, I've been Fort
It's
Wayne.
Wayne,
More-
Indiana.
Dude,
Yep.
y'all wouldn't know how many fucking times I'm in Fort Wayne a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in Fort Wayne constantly for work.
For farming
Google
shit.
Yeah, dude.
it'll bring you.
I
to
did
it.
not know their headquarters was in Fort Wayne. Okay,
It's a
so
big ass.
Preston, I want to hear your.
I think Tyler's finishing up his point. If I'm not
No, I was
mistaken.
just going to say there was like
Oh,
a PRS bass that I played there that was pretty much gave me everything I wanted, and it was actually an SE, and it was only like $800, and I was like, man, this gives me what I want. But then I've also, with some of these boutique
Yep.
guitar manufacturers, I guess you can call them. I'm starting to see some of these basses they're putting out, and I'm
Mayonnaise?
like,
I was gonna say, are you talking like mayonnaise and shit
I
like
would
that?
probably cut my left nut off.
Mayonnaise.
to
I
have
put that on
guitar.
my bologna sandwich.
Yep.
So, Preston, money's not an option. What's your rig? What's your rig and guitar?
So, once again, I've mentioned a couple times, but I'm very fortunate to have what I have because it's very close to if I were to step on stage and I was filling out stadiums, like it would be what I have. So, in regard to the amp, I would say give me the clean channel of the Friedman Jerry Cantrell signature, but the 100-watt version. That clean channel is fucking unreal. It's not super glassy. It's clear enough, but it also has this breakup tone that you're able to get. And specifically with our music that we play, it's not a very clean tone. It is more of a grittier, broken up sound.
Okay.
In regards to the dirty side of the amp, it would either probably be, I got three that I'm keeping in mind. The 100-watt version of what I have now. I have a 50-watt version. The 100-watt version of the EVH Stealth 5150. And Soldano SLO 100. Shout out Soldano. You changed the game. You started the 5150, so thank you for that. Lastly, which I haven't played one of these, and I don't know how their clean channels are, and I know it doesn't matter, but probably a Fortin Cali for the amp. I know Fortin, they're a big fucking deal in the space. I would love to have a Fortin. Cab wise, I'm not as educated on cabs. I understand that the Mesa Boogie 4x12, whatever it's called, is a big deal. To me, it has a darker tone that I'm maybe not as happy about. So I'd stick with what I have. Pedal wise, it depends.
Pedals are interchangeable. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I mean, if I was running as delay or reverb, it'd probably be some sort of Strymon bass. any sort of boost or tube screamer pedal.
Yep.
I'm going to air toward. I think this brand is slightly overhyped, but they do make good products. Of course, we all know Misha from Periphery. Horizon Devices, his brand. They do make good stuff, and I do have the Horizon Devices Precision Drive on my rig right now. Very good brand.
Excuse me. Sorry.
The other, man, I don't know.
What about guitar wise?
And then guitar wise, it would either be a Mayonnaise Regis core that has the belly carve with bare knuckle pickups, most likely the Ragnaroks after putting those in what I have now because I'm fucking obsessed with them.
Yeah. Preston don't drive a stock vehicle is what I'm hearing.
No.
No,
We modded
it's
out.
not.
He
I
ain't
do.
driving a
Wait,
stock
see, I mean, my
vehicle.
setup, my dream
Yeah.
setup is a $15,000 setup. So it's,
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
I
don't know,
literally
I
have
d-
it written down
I
because
d-
there's so much
we
to
only
it.
need 3,000 subscribers to get there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've done a
Yes.
bunch of research on all this, and of course, a lot of it's trial and error. The guitar wise, Mayonnaise Regis core most likely, or a SMP, and let me figure out the model name really fast. SMP Orpheus.
There you go. That sounds
Um,
perfect. Yep. Is that the one you've sent us
that's a
50 million
super
times?
strat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a super strat that I would want. SMP is a boutique small builder out of somewhere in the Europe area, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a big area.
Yeah. That's why I said somewhere.
Are we
in
talking
Europe.
Eastern or Western Berlin?
Don't
Yeah.
know.
So,
But and then drop bare knuckle pickups in it. So
Yeah. Always gotta
all
drop.
right. I guess
All
it's
right.
my turn.
All right, Kyler.
You want amp, cab, effects set up first? Or you want guitar first?
Wherever you feel.
I had to write everything down.
What's the most
Okay.
important?
All right. So cab, let's start there. I want EVH 4x12 cabs. Okay, I'm different than everybody here, where everybody kind of went Marshall or Orange or something of that nature. I love the EVH 4x12 cabs. The head is a Friedman HBE model. The high gain tones that you get out of that are bonkers. Tyler, you can speak to that. The high gain tones out of a Friedman are insane. I love a 5150, but I think that a Friedman gives you more versatility with the high gains and the cleans.
it's a much more classic tone.
Yeah. So effects is an Axe FX2 as far as how I'm running my effects through that, because when you run an Axe FX2 through a Friedman HBE, you're able to get so many different. It's basically like having a 100-watt spark. You can get anything you want out of it.
Yep.
So that's my cab setup. Preston, what's my favorite brand of guitars?
Jackson.
Yeah, Derek, answer you first.
I'm a podcast. I'm a faithful
Y'all had to
Premium
know that I was
listener.
going with a Jackson.
Jackson.
Misha Mansour's Juggernaut
Oh,
SR7.
Wow.
it's fucking sweet.
We're
man.
talking a $5,200 guitar.
Oh
here.
yeah.
Again, I said money's not an option. The satin finish on this, I've played one in a Guitar Center before. They are so, the scale length is perfect. The weight and balance is incredible, especially for a 7. The bridge, the way that the bridge, the way my hand fits or sits on the bridge is just so perfect. You know I love Super Strats. I think Jackson does Super Strats better than anybody out there. Bare knuckle pickups, Ragnaroks. If I'm having Misha's guitar, I've got to have Misha's pickups. So basically what I've given you is Periphery's fucking guitar through Polaris's rig. Because
And we know you love Periphery, so
yeah, well, no. I love Misha.
yeah.
I love Misha. I don't love Periphery's music, but yeah, I mean, we're talking probably a $15,000 setup on my end.
Yeah.
But again, we said money's not an option or not a problem.
Yeah,
So,
man.
yeah, the
That's just
EVH
money.
cab, the Friedman HBE,
That's all it is.
Axe FX2, Misha Mansour Juggernaut Jackson signature, bare knuckle Ragnaroks, let it rip, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it would be an insane setup to hear all those things together would be bonkers.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody else agree with that? Or
I think it would be fun. I think that I'm gonna probably
I
have a
said
dream
Mesa
tonight
Boogie. I
that
know
we're all
it's
jamming
Mesa
together
Boogie.
on our money's not a problem rigs. You know, we're gonna be. I'm gonna fall asleep tonight. I'm gonna wake up and I'm like, damn, that was a great concert I just put on in my head.
yes, you can imagine it in your head.
Yeah.
So.
It would
All
be
right.
fun.
Well, I think we've gearheaded out enough tonight. I hope that, like I said, we'll give a timestamp for anybody. I'll put it in the description for if you're not a gearhead, you don't give a shit about playing guitar, you just love music. We'll give you a timestamp to skip ahead and get into actual music content. So, Derek, you before the show read us a quote.
Mm-hmm.
You had mentioned where we had talked. I think Tyler had brought it up on a previous episode about how. A lot of metal music is depressing. Tyler, what was the exact way you
There's not enough positivity
in metal?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and immediately I'm listening in the Jeep on the way home from work.
Yep.
By
the way, you got a sick ass Gladiator, so let me just fucking throw that.
Appreciate that, brother. Well, I immediately hit pause on my Patreon. Go subscribe, motherfuckers. I immediately hit pause because $5 ain't nothing. Go subscribe, hit pause.
Thank you, sir.
And I start dictating. Anybody who's an attorney, I am a part of the dictation crew. I'm a boomer attorney, I guess. So I'm a dictator. So I pull out my phone and I start dictating a voice memo to me to just memorialize the thought.
Yeah.
Because that's an extremely important issue, topic, subject for me, because it's not that I disagree. I think that it's an individual thing, but metal to me has always been uplifting and inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
And when I share this quote with you guys, whenever that time comes up, because I don't know if we want to.
It's time.
Dive into
It's
that general
It's time.
thing.
It's
Okay.
I gotta pee, so can you talk about something for like next 20 seconds?
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
I mean, how did that make you feel? Like when you heard Tyler say that there's not enough positive? Because it made me think. I'm like,
I get
damn.
it. I get it 100% because there are people who immediately popped into my mind like, yes, they have that problem where, and this is what I feel. It's not that the message or the tone or something inherently in the music is negative that's causing them to fall back into this negative way of thinking. A lot of times it's the individual.
Yeah.
And I think not to jump into philosophy too much while Preston's taking a leak, but it's what is kind of referred to as the meta-comparator, okay?
That's a big word, bro.
And I'm going to butcher this, so if there's any real philosophers out there, feel free to come on and correct me.
I don't think Galileo was listening,
But
bro.
What makes humans unique and distinct from all other sentient beings is that we possess the ability to step back from our thoughts. For example, you have a dog, and the dog really wants a piece of steak on the counter. The dog is going to do whatever he can to do to be a good dog and get that piece of steak. But the dog is never going to be able to step back and say, do I even want to be the kind of dog whose emotions are controlled by the steak on the counter? What makes humans unique in that sense is that we're able to step back and say, I don't want to be the type of person whose emotions and thoughts and feelings are controlled by or whatever, run by XYZ.
Okay.
The meta-comparator, that's what makes us unique. So, when you listen to, I think what a lot of people do is they use this tool, this substance of metal music in particular, as a crutch to hide out in that spot where they're that dog who doesn't want to self-reflect to determine whether or not they want to be that kind of person. When you listen to people who write some of the more, I would say, dramatic or emo type of songs, oftentimes they're not like the most woe is me kind of people, you know? Like, they're not telling you. Aaron Lewis had a great clip on something once where it's like, all the fan mail that I get that's like, my buddy Jerry killed himself listening to this song or something like that. He's like, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm not writing this music because of that. This is just my thoughts and feelings that I'm working through.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people will then use those thoughts and feelings to be like, yeah, that's right. That's how I feel too. And I'm mistreated or I'm angry and I'm going to stay
You said
angry.
using it as a crutch.
Yeah, they're not taking that step back to say,
Huge.
What's AA Ron really saying here?
Yep.
Is it
What's
is it
Jay
all-
Quellen really saying here? Yeah.
What's really going on here? And that's why I like metal, because it gives me the opportunity to be like, fuck you, and then go, fuck me too. You know,
Yeah.
like wait a minute. There's a second part to this, you know, and then there's this concept of like music being a universal a universal language of all things.
Yeah.
So there's that too. So there's going to be some music that is bad and or is negative. Let me put it that way, not bad. It has negative emotions. It inspires
connotation.
negative emotions, and it should inspire negative emotions. There's definitely going to be music like that. But then there's definitely going to be music that's maybe sounds like it should be that way, but is actually more positive and uplifting. And that's the type of shit I've always gravitated to. That's why I like Alter Bridge.
What did August Burns Red said? They probably sold a shit ton of these shirts, but they made a shirt, and our drummer Scotty has it, and it's an ABR shirt, and on the back of the shirt, the little catchphrase is "Angry music for happy people."
Angry music for happy people.
Bro, that's the most
Yeah.
perfect
Yep.
description of so much of what we listen to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's most metalheads, and I've learned this with doing this show and creating social media accounts for this show and interacting with people on that channel. It is straight up. I mean, some of the people that I interact with on our Twitter account are some of the happiest fucking people in the world.
Yeah.
And listen to some of the most angry, pissed off music there is out there.
But we all know those people who listen to it and, hey, maybe you probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that is as much it's as much on them as it is on the music.
Yeah, it's a
And-
reflection of yourself.
And I think it's like, hey, maybe you need to actually listen to what they're saying, because they're kind of talking about you.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
talking about
I guess what I was more so talking about in that segment was the fact that we talk about music that invokes emotion, not motion.
It will invoke motion.
Yeah, it will. You'll probably bang your head against the wall. But,
Emotion and emotion.
My neck hurts.
but it's, you know, the
Emotionless
feelings
and white.
that are coming out in me when I listen to this stuff and hearing you talk, you know, through this, I guess to me it's like listening to some of this stuff, it justifies my feelings.
Yeah.
And so because someone else out there feels the same way and they were able to put it into terms that connected with me, that justified the way that they're feeling, and that's, you know, definitely a component of it, but it's really just, hey man, they're working through their shit.
Yeah.
And their shit is heavy, and
Yeah.
I am connecting with it, and it's helping me get myself in a state of mind where I can understand what the feeling is, work through the feeling, but I'm there.
Yeah.
I am in that setting, and so part of me
something-
going through like a mindset journey, for the last 4 years, Preston and I would have conversations where I would be like, I feel like I'm literally going to war with myself. There's a particular character trait, or there's a
Wage war,
particular
me against myself.
yeah, there's a particular
Dude, this is giving me chills, man.
there's a
love that.
particular behavior or habit that I have, and in order for me to overcome that, I have to literally fight myself. who could be worse to fight than yourself? You know your own moves, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You know you're
I'm gonna throw a left hook and then a jab. And, oh shit, he knew that was coming.
you know your own moves, bro.
So like I'm fighting myself, and there would be periods, literally a month long, depending on whatever this enemy is, and the enemy is always me. It's some part of me that I'm fighting. And you know, sometimes listening to this music, it can put me in these states of mind where like, holy fuck, I'm really connecting with this. The emotion is really being laid on me thick here, and I'm feeling that presently. And so now I'm kind of dealing with that right then. Probably not a great thing to do on the way to work, bro.
Yeah, probably not.
That
Now, I think a lot of people screw up on that where they're never going to have that conversation about going to war with their worst attributes.
They won't have that own
No,
conversation
they're using
with
it
themselves.
they're using the
Yes,
music
they're justifying
for
it.
justification
Yes.
for those shitty attributes.
Yes,
And it's
absolutely.
like maybe like one, you got to sit back and reflect. Maybe listen a little harder to the music that you listen to, because what I was amazed at as I got older is how important the formation of the music was to the formation of my character, not just not going crazy as a kid or having something to listen to at the gym to motivate, to be my anthem or my soundtrack, but also to shape my character. Like we talked about it before, it's music about Saturday morning.
yeah.
After you had the party.
What
on
you
Friday
consume
night.
is what you become.
Yeah. And if all you're listening to is music about, bullshit, whether it's
My day sucks. My life sucks. My month
or
sucks.
drinking all the time,
Yep.
if that's all you're listening to, granted, I listen to that shit all the time too. Hey, I get it. I've got drunk in a couple barns before. That's liable to happen. Somebody throws on some Kenny Chesney, and all of a sudden you're singing along. You don't know what happens. I'll tell you what it is. It's that beer. Now, that being said, if that's all you're listening to, then your character isn't going to develop the same way that it would if you're listening to whatever the shit that we're on that day, whether it's Breaking Ben, even Disturbed. That guy got some deep lyrics. I went back on them recently.
Bro got on Tinder not too long ago. David Draymond.
Then you
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, man, he went through divorce. He got on Tinder. I'm like, bro, you're like big time celebrity. You can't like be on Tinder.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have.
I'd be real curious at what the age range was.
You talked about invoking a feeling. I sent you guys a video in the group chat of a live show of Bad Omens and Noah Sebastian saying, I got to go fight God real quick. And I'm like, felt that. Felt that because there's days where I'm like going through some shit and I'm pissed off at God.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker. Why the fuck you doing this shit to me? I got to go fight God real quick. And the song they played right after that was Dethroned. And it's like,
Yeah.
and so it's all about evoking emotions. And Tyler, you tagged us in a video of Jelly Roll. And anybody listening, if you don't know who Jelly Roll is, or you've are not familiar with him, he's a country, a rap.
They're much. He's much.
Hip-hop.
He's
Hip-hop.
much more famous than we are.
Oh
I'll
my
tell you
God!
that.
Yes, I mean
It's
he
like-
won like 2 or 3 ACM awards.
He's
the
a
other night.
fatter, more tattooed version of Colt Ford.
Yes, more talented version of Colt.
Oh,
Ford.
yeah.
Super cool dude. But like Tyler, you tagged us in the video, but basically the video was him talking about how difficult his upbringing was and all the shit that they were going through,
And why he turned to music.
because like his, I'm gonna butcher this, but basically his mom would like turn on certain types of music to like
Literally escape.
and like brighten the emotion and mood of the household, and that became his escape, and all he wants to do is help people through music. And I relate to that so much with what we're trying to do with this podcast is help people through music, right? And Jelly Roll, my God, he went to prison when he was super young because he talks about it all the time how he fucked up, and he's like, now I can't own a gun, I can't do this, I can't do that. And he's trying to help people going through tough upbringings or just going through some shit through music. And I feel like that's what so many talented artists are trying to do, is bring value to their listeners and bring value to people in the sense of, you're not alone in this. You're not the only one feeling this anger or this sadness or this pain. Feel this with me, and we'll walk through it together. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I just remember I never listened to Jelly Roll. I was never really a fan of the hip hop kind of stuff. And that's cool, it's subjective. But like when he started talking about that, I just really connected with it. And I know he's got a really popular song out right now. It plays in the bar 3 times a night.
Son of a Sinner is what it's called.
Yeah, and I've listened to the lyrics, and I'm like, okay, I can connect with this. It is somewhat, cheesy, country-ish kind of stuff, and that's why it's being played in the bar. But, I do connect with it, and it kind of goes into the conversation we had last week about people connecting with different types of music and whatnot. And so I'm able to appreciate what he does lyrically and through that particular song and some of his other stuff, and listening to his message there, I was like, man, that's the exact type of shit we're talking about on this podcast. And I mean, it's just real shit. The dude broke down and about started crying.
No, he did.
On the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of
And Joe Rogan's just sitting there like, I don't know what the fuck.
I love every second of this.
Yeah, he was loving it.
You know what's kind of interesting for me is that
That's how big Jelly Roll is. He's on the Joe Rogan podcast.
I honestly didn't think about it until you started talking about, like, kind of in rebuttal to what I had to say about your hot take. The music, the style of music that is the style of music that I shouldn't listen to if I'm going to a social event or going to work is Childers.
Yeah.
And it's because it puts me in that
I want to kill somebody mood.
It's more the self-deprecating mood because of where we're at. Where we're at. I mean, we're on the outskirts of Appalachia.
Rural Ohio.
And we had 2 friends overdose.
Yep.
Before
One
we
friend
were
shot
19.
himself.
And then
one died of cancer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a lot of.
I mean, like we had. I mean that we are that white trash Appalachian music that no one was.
And the one friend that OD'd.
Yeah.
Changed our lives forever.
Yeah, really did. And
miss you, brother.
that stuff.
68. You know
that
who you are,
stuff
my guy. Miss you every day, man.
Gets me in a depressed mood.
Yeah.
Damn, you just got me in my feels, bro. I miss Nick so much.
Yeah. No. They hit hard, and
bro, he was such a big Linkin Park fan.
Oh yeah.
Like, God.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Him and his brother.
Yeah.
But where we're at, that music does that to me. Where metal doesn't do that to me quite as much because metal's going to war.
Metal saves me.
And I'm ready to go to war.
Yeah, metal saves me, whereas the Childers, the Sturgill Simpsons, the Colder Wall, like, because I've lived that shit. Like you said, we're Appalachia, Ohio, dude.
The minute I hear Tyler Childers' voice, I'm like, I need a bourbon and a cigar right now.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, I need to get a drink, and I need to go sit by the fire by myself.
Yep.
Like that's how that music does.
Metal is so upbringing for me. Versus the real original country music, especially the Appalachian country music like Childers and Simpson. And I know Colder Wall's from Canada, but he still sings that cowboy country. Like, it's just
real cowboy country.
Yes, it's Cody Johnson, Cody Jinks, shit like that. That's like, man, if I listen to enough of that, I'm like, I'm sad now.
You listen to that, and that's like when that statistic flashes in your head, like more people commit suicide to country music than That's like,
people talk about how like demonic and dark metal is. I'm like, bro, go listen to.
But it's because
one Tyler Childers album.
For me, and maybe we can explore this thought a little more. But for me, that's the fight in the dungeon with yourself. That's the fighting the demons. That's the soundtrack to fighting the demons. Especially
when it's about your life, man. When
An
it's
example,
like where you grew up.
It's the Jinton. The
Yes.
gent.
An example
is
of
the
that is
theme.
when Tyler sent me that new NF album. I wasn't ready for it emotionally.
Yeah.
Like I heard
And
that.
you're not an emotional guy either.
No.
So like for that to like
I'm
touch you in that
yeah,
way,
dude. Like he sent me that, and I'm listening through this shit, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
got you in your feels, bro.
All right.
The other side of it being metal, that there was a level of pain and why me growing up, where it wasn't the most ideal situation, not as bad as some other people's, wasn't ideal, and there was a level of you hear the why me, why is this happening to me, and something about metal music, it brought out that pain, and I was able to express that pain in some sort of positive way that any other genre of music
It's
it
metal.
wasn't there.
Metal is that like, why me? Why no? Even if it's me, we're going to war, bitch.
Yeah.
Like we're
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick myself up by my bootstraps. Music.
Preston's very non-emotional, very composed, but he didn't have the easiest upbringing, and I'm not going to speak for the guy. If
I
he wants
think
to talk
he is being humble about it.
it's not just being humble. He just doesn't. He's never been the guy to
It's
feel
not an
sorry for
excuse,
himself.
man. It's
Yeah.
not
He's
a
never been the
fucking
guy to feel
excuse.
sorry for himself.
Yeah.
Use it as an excuse. This right here is the happiest motherfucker that I've ever known in my whole life.
Ever. The
No
most
matter what
positive.
happens in his life, I wish that I had his level
Oh
of
my god.
courage to face the world, because so many times in my life I've just been like, I'm gonna fight God, dude. I'm pissed the fuck off. And Preston's like, it's all good. We'll figure it out.
It's all good, brother.
We'll figure it
check
out.
out this sick riff.
Yeah, man, yeah, check this shit out.
Like, God damn, brother.
And,
Yeah, that's heavy, bro. But like, listen to this.
yeah.
I got the perfect thing for you.
So everybody deals with
I can
stress.
save your mood.
Yeah. Everybody, and that's probably why I was gravitated to him so much when we were kids, was like, man, I get depressed and shit. Preston's like so upbringing and like lifts me up out of that shit and be like, man, I'm going to pick you up in the Dodge and we're going to go jam Overcome and punch the fucking dash out of the,
And
truck.
be the happiest people
Be the
in
happiest
the world.
motherfuckers in the world. We're going to go
Yep.
fish for 6 hours and drink beer
Yep.
and listen to fucking All That Remains and Bullet. And I'm like, yep, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Because it was just, and you're drawn to certain people that, what do they say about, even in couples, opposites attract, right? Yeah. If you're the exact same person, no matter if it's a friendship or a relationship or whatever it is, you're not going to work out. And I feel the same thing musically. Like, if you are so concentrated on one style or one vibe of music, you're doomed to fail, right? Mm-hmm. We listen to so much different shit, whether it's, and I mean, even within the genre or subgenre or whatever of rock and metal, whether it's the feel good shit like Boys of Fall, or the sad boy shit like Boys of Fall, or like alternate music like Matchbox 20 or Fuel or something like that, dad rock, and then metalcore and deathcore and pop punk and shit. Like, there's so many different avenues that we go down in these types of music that give you different feelings and invoke certain emotions to match your mood or to bring you out of a certain mood that you don't want to be in. You're like, I feel like shit today. I'm going to turn this on. Or, no, I'm feeling too happy. I need to be pissed off. And it's just, we have these certain avenues of music that we can go down.
Now, I want you to keep that thought in your head.
Okay.
I want you to keep that thought in your head, and then I want you to think about how on prior episodes, almost every episode you guys have had, you talk about how tired of hearing the same fucking song over and over from a lot of these bands.
And this
I made a
get
TikTok
back to the quote.
I made a
right?
TikTok about that the other day.
Now,
this is where we circle back to the quote, right?
Yeah, I was
Took
going
us
to
an
say,
hour.
y'all said something about a quote.
Yeah,
I ain't
we're-
heard
Took us
shit.
an
Well,
hour.
it's
I
build
had
up.
to-
It's
I had
build
to
up.
pee and
It's like a breakdown.
Yeah, I had
So-
to piss
build
and
up.
it became
it really
something else.
is. It's going to take a second to get through.
It's a long one, but hang on.
This is from one of my favorite philosophers, Friedrich Nietzsche. I might get some flack for that, but whatever. God has given us music so that above all, it can lead us upwards. Music unites all qualities. It can exalt us all, divert us, cheer us up, or break the hardest of hearts with the softest of its melancholy tones. But its principal task is to lead our thoughts to higher things, to elevate, even to make us tremble. The music the musical art often speaks in sounds more penetrating than the words of poetry and takes hold of the most hidden crevices of the heart. Song elevates our being and leads us to the good and the true. If, however, music serves only as a diversion or as a kind of vain ostentation, it is sinful and harmful. That last little bit there makes me think about the shuffle on my Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm flipping through it, and I'm like, same shit. Now I'm going to start saying, that song is sinfully bad.
Yeah.
That band is sinful. Make some new shit. But that quote kind of puts it into perspective for me as to why I'm attracted to the more inspiring stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like the To Plant a Seed album, that stuff to me gets you closer to God. And I'm saying closer to God like small g. You know, we can talk
Small G.
I can talk
Whoever your God may be.
I can talk all about my own spiritual journey, but I think
What spiritual journey?
yeah.
You're an atheist, aren't you?
No.
Not anymore?
No, see?
You transitioned?
Well, it's 2023, you know. There's lots of transitioning going on.
Yeah, a lot of that's not necessarily
I can
kind,
talk
but yeah.
Tom blue in the face about metaphysical arguments for something greater. That's the God that we're talking about.
Yeah.
When I say that To Plant a Seed got me closer to God, it got me closer to the metaphysical world that's greater than me.
Mm-hmm.
And when every song that I listen to, I want that feeling of being brought closer to the unmoved mover, to all that is good.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Nietzsche would fucking hate metal. I don't know. He's German. He'd probably like it.
I feel like a lot of Germans like metal, yeah.
They like it. He was actually a composer himself, like many other well-educated German fellows.
Right.
I'm
Why
not
are
German.
Germans so smart?
I don't know. Well, they're also kind of dumb too. So
I've never met a dumb one.
Reminds me of myself.
We need to remember that, like 1920 to 45.
Oh well, yeah. Well, they tend to forget about that time period.
There
They
was
act
some-
like it didn't happen. But
Oh, forget. Just drink some beer.
yeah,
That being said, that I think that's why I've always gravitated towards that stuff, and I think maybe more. If there was a pill to take for your metal depression, maybe go seek out some of that more uplifting metal. You know, it's out there.
if you're religious, I would so recommend Wolves at the Gates.
Wolves at the Gates.
You talk about feeling closer to God, lowercase g. I'm not going to get real religious, but if you want to feel closer to God, uppercase G, Wolves at the Gate
Praise the Lord.
made me feel like I think I've said on previous episodes. I've told my fiance, I'm like, babe, if this is the kind of music they played at church, I'd be there every Sunday. Bring me closer to God in a metal way, okay? Like, because Wolves just does so much for me. Like if I'm feeling like I don't want to fight God, I want to feel like I'm with God, I turn on Wolves and I'm like, in a metal way, I am with you.
Is it time? Is it time for the special every episode segment of our karaoke of Scott Stapp? Can you take me higher? Should have been dead. That track is on repeat up in here.
Yeah, no, you mentioned a term in that quote, melancholy. And I think there's a lot of metal songs that make me feel that way. And what I mean is in a reflection sense.
Yeah.
If you listen to a certain song and it kind of makes you reflect on your life, and you could be in a perfectly normal, like mellow kind of mood. And for me, it's always a fucking Boys of Fall song. Always a Boys of Fall song that comes on. I don't give a shit if it's Heavy Hearts, if it's Distance, if it's Thank You and Goodbye. I don't care which one it is. There can be umpteen number of Boys of Fall songs that come on and, make me feel that melancholy feeling of reflection and sadness, like, oh, now I'm sad. Like, out of nowhere, right?
That broke my heart.
And it just, and not in a bad way, it just kind of makes you think of all that you've overcome or all that you've been through, and that you're here present in this moment now, still kicking, still fighting, working through some shit. So I appreciate a lot of those bands that write those kind of songs that make me feel that sense of melancholy. And it's all about what you're feeling in that certain moment, like, right, what fits. So there's no other genre of music that can just evoke this multitude of emotions and feelings.
All of the emotions.
Dude, there's every emotion you can think of. I promise you I can find you a song for it.
Oh, a metal song for it.
Yes.
I have
a metal song
listened,
for it.
dude. I know y'all are sick of us plugging this band, but kiss my ass. I have listened to Polaris.
I knew. I was like, Polaris.
Dude, them are moss.
In the happiest, the saddest, the angriest.
Bro, go
whatever
listen to Martyr
emotion-
when you're sad.
Whatever emotion you want, or you are in or experiencing.
Mostly angry.
Yep.
Mostly angry. But if you're sad, go listen to Martyr. I mean, Off of the Death of Me. I hated that song until I listened to it when I was sad one day, and I was like, on the verge of tears.
Fuck.
So far in your Philosophy 101 with the wannabe philosopher Derek, you've learned that
You've been that way since you were 14.
music
Yes,
about
he has.
Saturday morning is
Yeah.
better than music about Friday night. We found that out.
Yep.
We also found out that bad music is a sin. And when I say bad music,
You mean repetitive?
we'll continue to describe.
Based on what that quote was saying, it was bad music is music that is there just to
filler.
distract you.
Yeah.
Just to
filler.
Can I
be something
Yes.
that's kind of in the background playing to distract
If
you
that's
from
the
your thoughts
purpose.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
If the purpose of
Good
the
music is stuff that makes you think
And
and forces you to become better.
So why is it a sin though? It's a sin because it's a bastardization of that process that's supposed to bring you closer to God.
Exactly.
Perfect. I'm going to
Yes.
build on your saying of Friday night versus Saturday morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Friday night is temporary, Saturday morning's forever.
Yeah,
That feeling,
it's reality.
it's reality.
Ooh.
Yep.
The music that you listen to on Friday night is very temporary. But the music you listen to on Saturday or Sunday morning,
What a good time. Then you wake up Saturday morning, you're like, fuck.
That
Yeah.
was not a good time.
Poison sucks.
it's forever. It's an everlasting feeling.
I don't know who sings that song.
Poison.
Poison. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. I was like, damn, I hope that was right.
Band that should never have fucking existed.
Sucks.
Uh,
So in regards to,
now,
you had mentioned there's a part that we'll delve more into.
yeah, so that same philosopher was influenced by another guy who talked about how music is unique in comparison to all the other arts, because all the other arts are what the artist does is attempt to make a copy of whatever phenomena they see.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, I think it's Schopenhauer is how you say his name. He said that music is the exact
It's your
the
own
phenomena.
creation.
It is the exact representation of the phenomena. It's not the picture. It's not the painting.
Music is the object, not the replica of it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
what is better than music that is composed to be a copy of something else, whether it is a copy of another phenomena or a copy of another song, a copy of a copy, or music that attempts to strive to be that original phenomena.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think the shuffle feature on the Spotify or
Yeah.
Apple iTunes is so important, because we've talked about it. You guys talk about it all the time. We're tired of the same. You get tired of the same shit. You get
Yep.
tired of hearing the same song over and over and over again. And why? Well, because it sounds the same. Well, part of that is true, but it's also part of it's because it's not evoking any new vision of a phenomena that you didn't already have.
Yes.
It's not an original thought or idea. It's a cheap copy that is almost sinful.
So I really connect with that, and here's why. When I first started playing, I quickly got bored of learning covers. One of the reasons I got back into music and fell in love with music when I met Sean was because he was writing music. And when I started kind of writing my own music, that is what got me to, fall in love with music. And when I'm covering songs, like,
it doesn't evoke the same
it
emotion.
doesn't do much for
Yeah.
me. Like, if I'm covering songs, it's for other people.
Yeah.
You're so
Because-
focused on playing it properly
Well,
that
it's
you don't feel, even if it's a song that you love, because you're not gonna cover a song that you fucking hate. You're gonna play one that you really enjoy. But if you're playing it live, you're so focused on playing it right for other people that you're not feeling what you feel when you listen to it.
right,
for
but it's
one.
like me covering a song is me just replicating something, kind of
Yeah.
like what
Exactly.
you were
Yep.
saying.
Yep.
Whereas when I write my own thing, man, it is
It's a full-on
It's- it
creation.
is
It's
your-
an experience.
It is your attempt to put to tune the metaphysical.
I hear shit in my head,
Yes.
and
Yep.
I'm like, I have to find a way to bring that to existence. And it's not like I seen some vision, not vision, but I seen some like scene of nature, and now I'm going to go home and paint that. There's something in my fucking head
I gotta get it
that
out.
doesn't actually exist, which is borderline insanity, and I need to make it
I need
real.
to do that.
The concept that I'm talking about is kind of a higher level philosophy concept,
Mhm.
but I think that more people should understand it and talk about it, because I feel like it just helps you explain more or understand more. It gets you closer to God. Like trying to understand like where your thoughts come from and where the patterns come from, and what is real and not real, and then what is the copy and what's not the copy. That's important. I think the issue you're describing is the artist's dilemma, like that musicians, more so than any other artist, are attempting to put pen to paper, for lack of better terms, to those metaphysical thoughts and feelings, more so than anybody else, because you're not because that cheap copy. If you write a song about going to war after you went to war and it's about the battle that just happened, it's completely different than writing a song about war that is about to take place. That copy of that the
Holy shit.
the artist rendering of the battle that just took place is never going to be as exciting or as compelling as the anthem heading into the battle. That hasn't happened yet.
It's like the difference between kind of reading off the news and
And it happening right.
Improv.
Yeah.
versus like it.
Oh, that was good.
I lost track of what I was saying because of
Reading
that.
off a
Fuck you.
teleprompter
But anyway,
versus improv.
Yeah, so it's
Improv.
Well, fuck it,
For
we're
me-
doing it live.
for me. I guess the
I'll
reason,
read it. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
I guess the reason I was kind of connecting with what you were saying is because part of what's hindered me as a musician is because I have very little interest of learning other people's shit. So most of what I ever done on the guitar was me dicking around myself, not really learning from anything, just kind of, after the initial lessons with my dad, it was very much me just sitting there tinkering with the damn thing and saying, I hear this in my head and I need to put it onto the fretboard.
Part of what hinders me as a musician is I fucking suck. I'm just here for comedic relief. Continue.
So, well, even if you do suck at guitar, I think that, and this will kind of come full circle to the Guitar 101 conversation, as exciting as it is to learn my favorite song, there's nothing that's been more exciting than trying to put one together.
Oh, dude, it's way more fun. It's more challenging, but it's way more fun.
I got this little
way more
thing
rewarding.
that I play on the G. I play this thing on the G, and I always start like open. What's the one above the G?
D.
North of the G. D. It's just on the D and the G. Okay.
If you're in standard.
Yeah, in standard.
88 Dynamite Goodbye Eddie.
Yeah. And I play this little thing where it's like open on the 12, and I start, and I only play anything on the G, but I hit open D, G, and that's all it is. And it's just me playing around on that scale up and down the G, and it evokes an emotion out of me that like, it's what I play when I'm done and I'm ready to go to bed. And I do it, and I'm like, I'm happy. It's my nightly prayer.
So you make a good point, and I'm coming to a realization with myself. I remember being a kid when I was playing guitar and was starting to get decent at it. Whether it was my dad's friends or
Who was that one dude that used to always come and listen to us jam?
Maybe Kevin.
That's it,
Yeah.
Kevin. Play some off Ride the Lightning.
Yeah, I remember hearing people asking me to play somebody else's stuff, which was always cool because there were so many bands that I wanted their stuff that I wanted to play, and I finally learned how to play, and it was cool showing people. But I remember there was a time and place where it got to a point, and probably once my skill level had risen to the point that I could, but I don't give a fuck about anybody's riffs. I'm trying to put out what is in my head.
Dude, and you, and not to dick ride you more than we already do.
Don't.
But the riffs you've been coming up with lately, you'll be like, hey, what do you think of this? You'll send it to me. I'll be like, oh my God.
That's the thing. Preston is still nothing more than a riffer at heart.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a riffer who writes his own shit now. Motherfucker doesn't play anybody else's shit but his.
You know what's inspiring too is I have played guitar. I didn't play guitar with you as much as Kyler, that's for sure. And I definitely got on. I became a part of you guys' circle after you guys had already at least become literate on the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And today, when you just flew around on the Chapman a little bit right before the show, I was like, oh my God, he's gotten even so much better than I thought before. And I was always like, damn, Preston's so fucking good. But part of that,
he's so good, bro.
And to
30
maybe
minutes a day, every day, people.
to maybe
15 to 30.
deflate the ego now a little bit.
Go ahead.
Is I think part of that is too because I know you're self-taught.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like,
Yep.
I might be more impressed with somebody who is trained,
Classically trained, yeah.
and then flies up and down the fretboard like that. But knowing that you're from right down the street and completely untrained.
Where's the deflation
cool.
of the ego?
I guess it's
now.
maybe,
Granted,
maybe
nobody has less ego when it comes to playing guitar
so maybe,
than him.
Maybe
motherfucker has none.
If I could say anything about
he'll
it,
fuck something up. God,
it's
I
like,
fucking suck.
on
I'm
one
like,
of the
suck
episodes
my dick, motherfucker.
prior, you were like, I don't give a fuck about music theory. It's like maybe you should a little bit.
Yeah. There's part of me that, as a musician, I do
Yeah.
regret. Like, man, I wish I would have learned.
Look,
I think
more of
you're
it.
almost
if we're
forced
going to
into it.
Tyler
deflate,
said, "Look,
if we're
here we
going to
go."
deflate Preston's ego,
I tried to
This
help him
dude-
pick his bass up off the floor the other day during practice.
Is that what you were referring to?
look.
Motherfucker.
So
At
this
least you didn't
dude
try
will
to
hit me
pick
up
up this-
randomly. He'll send me a song. He'll be like, "Bro, I need you to find the first chord. This chord is beautiful. I need you
Can't
to find
find
it."
it. Just
And
like
he
the-
just-
just
he-
like the Clint. I can't find it.
And then we'll be.
It's so little.
It's
It's
hidden.
an open sea.
It's hidden in there somewhere. But look, it's that stuff. Not being able to figure out some of those chords and whatnot, but then also trying to find the key for you to run leads on. And I've kind of shown you a few things to try to make it easier on you, but it really starts with finding the first few notes and then just running your patterns off of that. But that's been a big issue for you, is especially when you're trying to add layers to songs for the band. It's like you'll tinker around with it, and then you'll be sitting over there frustrated because you can't figure out what key it's in, but then everything's really loud too. So
Well, I want to get into a this or that segment.
I got you, baby.
I got one. I got one I think you guys are going to like.
Let's start with yours.
Derek, do you want to?
With me?
I don't have one. I don't think
He
Preston
said,
has one.
"Fuck."
Not
Okay,
really.
I'm gonna let you two let her rip. So
Okay,
we've
I
got.
got-
I think
probably-
mine might send us down a fucking wormhole.
We've
got
got
it,
probably a
so
half hour, 45 minutes.
There's
so-
a lot of qualifiers on mine.
Oh
okay?
Jesus Christ!
let's go.
Do not think about the gym whatsoever.
Okay.
The
Well,
gym
that's
is
easy for
not
me
a
because I don't
factor.
fucking go there. So
Boom roasted. Do not think about the gym at all. One of them goes away
Oh,
forever.
That was hard.
Oh shit.
One of them goes away forever. Headphones or car stereo?
Car stereo.
Car stereo.
car
stereo
stereo.
stays or
Stays.
stays?
Absolutely.
Really?
No,
For
no,
sure.
no. Me, it goes. It's gone.
It's good.
Car
Me
stereo
too.
goes.
Yeah, I'm headphones all
Bro,
day
what
long.
Me
about
too.
jamming in the car with your
Headphones.
bros?
I know.
So
I know.
you're saying you'd rather listen to music by
I
yourself?
want to get lost.
Okay. Not me,
I would
dude.
rather listen to music on speakers that are not in my fucking ear.
Well,
Yes.
there's
100%.
than
That's
these
the-
little things stuck in there
That is
that
the
are.
easiest decision ever because when on a stereo in a car or whatever, when that shit surrounds you,
I'm not
it is
saying,
a whole nother
I'll tell
feeling.
you
Oh,
this:
hold on,
every
hold on.
car I
jamming
bought,
with your bros, you can't jam with your bros with
Maybe,
headphones.
maybe
I'm-
we're
I promise you this.
interpreting
Yeah,
this
I'm
wrong.
not saying your house stereo goes away. I'm saying you either have to drive in silence or you never listen to headphones again.
what?
Never driving in silence,
Like
bro.
your house stereo can stay. So if you want to jam with your bros, you come over.
Okay.
But
turn
if
on
you're
the
in a
house stereo.
car,
Oh,
you gotta
car
have your
stereo.
headphones in.
Car stereo goes away or your headphones go
No,
away.
headphones can go away for
Headphones.
life.
Yeah,
gone.
headphones can go away. I'll
Headphones
listen to
go
the car
away.
stereo.
Well, you just switched up. What the fuck?
Because it's completely different than what we thought it was. I
No.
interpreted it wrong.
So you're telling me that if you have your if your house stereo is now gone, you're going back to headphones?
No, so
Bro,
it
if you're in
sounds
the
like
garage-
it sounds like you're just talking about would as far as driving, would you rather listen on your
Fuck, see,
headphones
I put
or
too many qualifications on it.
No. Here's the way I
because
look at it.
whether it's while I'm driving, I either have to pick headphones or car stereo, or just in general, I have to pick headphones or
I
stereo.
didn't think about that.
I'm going with the stereo.
I'm going stereo.
Yeah,
Listen,
I'm
if
going
you're, in
both
your,
scenarios.
if you're in your
Yeah.
garage, cleaning out your garage, you got headphones in, or you listen to the fucking stereo,
Well,
or your phone on speaker.
sometimes it is headphones.
Not for me.
I only do headphones
On a
if
bike.
I have to be quiet.
It's the only time I ever do headphones is on the bike.
I appreciates the hell out of that. Like
I got a JBL speaker in there that bangs,
too.
bro.
because I'm not like that.
I got a JBL.
I'm real
speaker.
quiet.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a closet metalhead. Like people look at me and I don't think they
No, fuck that. We're eating dinner at the kitchen table,
With a
and I have
blare.
my fucking
With a
kids
blare.
listening to whatever the fuck I feel like
Yeah.
listening to. They'll be like, "Daddy, can we listen?" Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
Shut your mouth. Shut.
Eat
shut
food.
Up. Shut up. Shut up.
I'll turn the song when you eat all
You
your
know,
fucking
as,
pork chops.
as glorious of as many drives in the old Jeep that we had together, or an old
Pioneer
Lucifer,
State. Pioneer Radio.
yeah, or the old Lucifer. Did
Oh
it have
my
Pioneer in it
god.
too?
Yeah. No, I had
or the
Pioneer
old
in that.
Dodge.
Yeah, you had
I
Pioneer in
think-
that too. You had
No,
subwoofers in that.
I
too,
had
didn't you?
subs in it. and
I think I
everything.
would go headphones.
I would say every.
You would go headphones.
I think I would go headphones.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah, and
You're
it's
fucking
because
insane.
it's because there's no better feeling than riding a killer motion in a suit, listening to fucking peripherally.
That's a lifestyle difference. That's a lifestyle difference, though.
Yeah, or like getting lost in myself is a more desirable feeling, I think, to me.
Bro, when I'm out,
I think I agree there. Yep.
When I'm out
Yep.
walking a field of corn, right? When I'm out looking at crops,
Mhm.
I have my phone in my pocket playing music.
Yeah.
I don't have headphones in because I like it to. I like it to fill the space. I want to feel and hear nature at the same time as I'm feeling my music.
Yeah.
So, and maybe that's just
like
me.
that.
And you're an outdoorsman just like I am. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised
If I'm
that
out,
you would say
if
headphones.
I'm outside a lot though, I usually am not jamming. But I will say recently I have been playing music on my phone, working at the job site, like on our house.
Yeah,
Like I have been doing that more lately.
that's fair.
But-
That's a fair one.
But I do like I appreciate
Stereo.
the
I just so many memories in a vehicle or in a
Yeah.
barn,
Damn, you're
jamming
giving
with
up a
my
lot of
dudes.
that.
Yeah,
Like-
so
Was
I
it the
wouldn't trade-
music or was it the company? I think we've
was
been
both.
pretty good
Yeah.
shit.
Or
was it the
together.
beer?
Yeah,
and
Or
that's
the
where
weed.
that's where I'm torn, and I know.
Oh
each-
damn! You know what might have just changed it for me.
Yeah,
I'm
torn
feeling
life.
here.
I think I just changed it.
No,
I can't.
You can't change
no,
the rules.
No, the rules are the same, but I might change my answer because I can't just crank up the volume knob when my old lady's bitching at me for missing the fucking turn. So, you know,
stereo.
yeah. I think I might
Yeah,
have
and
to
I
go.
think that's where like no,
She's
you
gonna
make.
love that.
I think we each kind of interpreted it differently. And the way I originally did was, would you rather listen to music in a car stereo or would you rather listen to it in headphones? And I know you prefaced it with not in relation to the gym or any of this, but like I think of times where I'm in the gym and there's a certain song that allows me to express myself in a way
Well,
that
We've been to the gym enough times together to know that I'm putting it on the stereo.
yeah.
Like that is when I'm waking the neighbors. Is
Yeah.
like
Right.
metal slinging time.
Yep.
I'll say this. Every car I've ever bought, one of the big determining factors
Yes.
of whether I'm buying
Yep.
this car or not is the stereo system.
Yep.
So I've always had cars that had good stereo systems. For cars that don't, like I can mess with a little EQ and stuff and try to make it sound all right, but like that shit sucks.
My vehicle right now, the car stereo. I might have to make an upgrade.
You're like me. You got a Mopar. They do not come with great factory stereos.
They're okay, but that Jeep is a fiberglass box, and there's like 2 good speakers in it up
Yeah.
above you. If you get the option, you can get them where they have like a removable subwoofer in the back. I wish I got that, but I wasn't really thinking about it.
All right, Tyler, lay it on us, bro. Let's take us home.
So I have to add context in the beginning, kind of like Derek
damn it,
here.
all these
I had
fucking
some
rules.
I had some. There's kind of some rules
That
here.
ain't
So-
metal as fuck.
No, just wait. All right.
Shut
so
up. Shut up.
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up, bitch. Anyway, the term pop music was coined really to explain popular music.
Yes.
Music that reached kind of mainstream success, tons of radio play, things like that. The term alternative was coined to basically explain fucking everything else.
Underground shit.
Everything.
Yeah.
What is alternative to the popular music? So if you consider everything that you can consider pop or popular music and compare it to everything that is alternative. So everything that is just not the popular.
Which is more popular.
Hold on.
Yeah, bear with me. Hold on.
Bear
hang
with
on.
me. One group stays, one group gone forever.
Gone forever.
And I know this is going to hurt you guys because on the popular side, you have bands like Metallica.
Yep.
Oof.
On the alternative side, you got like Polaris.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to choose between stuff that has had mainstream success, Metallica, Breaking Benjamin, Alice in Chains, compared to everything that is not, which is basically everything
So-
metalcore.
Can I go first? Can I go first?
Everything.
Yeah.
So, alternative would not exist without pop. So
We're
let me
not talking about that.
No, I'm just saying. Let me preface that. This is easy. Alt stays. Alternative stays. Because I can tell you right now, I love Metallica. I love Alice in Chains and Pantera and Megadeth and Breaking Benjamin and Chevelle and Creed and Killswitch Engage even and shit like that. I can't live without Polaris
Nope.
or Era
Yep.
or Make Them Suffer or Currents or Motionless in White or shit like that. Bad Omens. I know Bad Omens is very popular now, but they're not getting played on the radio.
You
Alts-
sure?
Well,
yes.
then, but look, we
Alternative.
also have to consider things like 99.7 The Blitz and stuff, where like things like Motionless in White is playing,
Yep.
Kill Switch,
Mhm.
you know, those kind of bands, All
Yeah,
That Remains.
but-
So those kind of fall more into the.
Does the whole catalog go
So,
away forever?
so
Yes.
but Polaris isn't. Make Them Suffer's not. Currents isn't. Bleed From Within.
Right.
Moths. Alt stays. Pop can go. Because the versatility within the alt scene and the depth of music within the alt scene is unmatched. And for me, I could not live without the that style of versatility that we get with alt music. I love Metallica, but if I had to pick between Metallica and Polaris, I'm picking Polaris. It speaks to me more.
Yep.
I might be changing my initial opinion.
You're
on
going to
this.
say pop.
Well, the thing that got me is the whole catalog goes away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That's what he said. It was going to make you think.
the whole catalog.
Now we can take out bands that maybe had like one song on the radio, like
That's
one
fair.
hit wonders or something
Or
like that. But
like maybe it gets played every once in a while. Like I think Kill Switch.
Yeah.
I'd consider that more the mainstream
Now what about
mainstream success.
What
I
about
should say.
prior bands of now pop members, like
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Moto Grader, Ivan Moody?
Oh, that can go away for fucking ever. That can straight to hell. Get it the fuck out of here.
Moto Grader?
Yeah, see ya.
So
Bye.
that
Don't
would
care.
definitely be alternative unless
But-
they are reaching
But
mainstream
Five Finger Death
success.
Punch goes away forever.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Praise Allah.
Damn, this one's tough for me.
I knew this one.
This one's tough for me because
Stained.
Stained.
I live on the
Shine
alternative
Down.
shit.
Yep.
Like I
Like Tremonti's
my,
gone, bro.
My whole
Oh,
life.
yeah. Tremonti's.
I know.
See ya.
But my whole life and everything I do is extremes. Like I want the piniest IPA. I want the most rye red. I
Yep.
want the strongest bourbon. I want the smokiest brisket. I want
The most expensive pipe tobacco.
exactly, yeah.
Speaking of that, why the fuck didn't you bring some pipe tobacco,
Dude, I should
bitch?
have. I got some cigars, but I didn't bring my pipes. Next time we're bringing
I was just saying,
pipes.
next time you're on, you bring a pipe.
I really do. I live on those extremes, like of the spectrum, but on both sides.
Sure.
So that's why I like the alternative shit. But man, there's so many good bangers mixed into that mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
Like there really is. And if I had to say, like, maybe back to Kyler's point, like with no pop is no alternative. With no alternative or with no pop ever,
Is
Man.
there? Yeah.
like there goes away some
I would say every
interconnectivity
pop band
Influenced an
started
alternative.
as an alternative.
as an alternative thing.
Man.
And a lot of alternative bands become pop bands.
Well, you know what? This kind of brings up a interesting issue is that with the advent of the internet, the girth and spread of music is we're kind of getting to a point where
There's much less obscurity.
yeah. Well, it's like is pop music today as popular as pop music was in 1970?
No, because
Right.
there's so much more of it.
Yeah.
Nobody's as
So
iconic.
it's like it's like we're
Nobody
getting
is as
we're
obscure.
kind of getting to a point where everything is
Pop.
alternative.
Yeah.
You mean pop?
No, alternative. I think
would
alternative.
It's not
disagree.
because it's not
There's
as
not
popular.
there's not a
Disagree.
ton of platinum records out there.
Yeah.
these
I would
days.
disagree
Exactly.
because there's no obscurity anymore.
Well, I get what you're saying there, where we have like a lot of bands remaking the
Everything
same
is
shit.
instantly accessible.
I agree with you there, and I get the point. But my point is that it's it's instantly accessible, but the barrier to entry.
These
is also
artists
low.
aren't up here anymore.
Yeah.
There's not those 3 to 5 artists that are up here.
like
compared to
there's no who would be the equivalent to Robert Plant today
no one.
in his prime.
No one.
Who would be the equivalent or the fucking
Hold
Beatles?
on, I immediately reacted with no one, but yeah.
I mean, the best thing you got, the person who's probably selling out the most arenas.
Dave Grohl,
No,
like in
It'd
a
be like
rock
fucking,
scene,
It'd be like fucking Taylor Swift.
right? Yeah,
But look at the arena she's selling out. It's not
Yeah.
Woodstock.
right.
It's not the same level of arena and universal popularity
Mm.
back then. Now, there. I think what Kyler's talking about is the bad side of the unlimited options coin. Is that all of it is just the different flavor of ketchup.
Yeah, yeah.
like it's just the same.
Everything is so watered down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you're not gonna have those big bangers anymore.
So what are you picking? Pop or alt?
Shit.
He doesn't
Pass.
know.
Pass.
I think all the talking through it made it fucking worse. You know what? I'm going to give the lawyer's answer. It depends.
Oh God.
Gun to my head. What goes? Alternative or pop music? It depends. Pop. Fuck, it happened. Pop.
Pop.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was the gun going pop because I couldn't make a fucking decision.
You would pick pop. I feel like you would pick pop.
You think I would stick with pop?
Yeah, I do. Just because so many bands that you mention and
It's
talk
true.
about as far as
Yeah.
influence. I mean, Alter Bridge is like your go-to, man.
Yeah.
And you talk about Atreyu, you talk about Stained and Breaking Benjamin and Shinedown,
Yeah.
and not that I mean Killswitch, and I agree with Tyler.
Yeah.
I think Killswitch is more of a
Going closer. Well,
pop.
I think A Day to Remember is
Yeah, dude.
More,
Yeah.
is like
Pop.
more pop punk.
Yeah, and there so many of those bands that you mentioned are in that
But
realm,
there are some that
not
I
in a
mentioned.
bad way.
There are a lot. Maybe as I get older, more of my favorites are those on the edge guys like Treasures.
Yeah.
Or Valiant Hearts or that
Brand new.
I brand new. Do you know what? You know what pisses me off? What pisses me off, and this gets part of the problem with having
Democrats.
unlimited fucking options, maybe. But part of the problem with having unlimited options is you guys will say a band name. Here's how I listen to the show. You guys say a band name.
It takes
Can't
you
wait
6
for you
hours.
to listen
Yeah.
to the last episode we recorded.
Oh my God. Yeah, we went bonkers with bands.
I pause the show. I go to Spotify. I listen to 2 or 3 of their songs, and I'm like, all right, you're in the fold or you're out of the fold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I come back to the show. And 10 seconds later, you're like, oh, what about this fucking other band? And I'm like, God damn it.
Oh my God, you're gonna lose
This
your
is the part that
Wait till you
pisses me
listen.
off.
Yeah.
The part that pisses me off the most, I go back to my phone. I open it. I type in the fucking name. You have 3 songs in your library from this band. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How come I can't remember any of these fucking
You got
names?
2,000
I do that all the
songs
time,
downloaded
man.
in your
Oh
phone.
yeah. I'm like, God damn it.
So,
Spirit Box.
Yeah.
I just come across Spirit Box one day. I saved
Spirit
one of
Box,
the songs.
listening to the song isn't enough. I need to fuck the song.
Yeah.
I mean, I need
was
it up my
like-
ass.
I was like, what?
Jesus Christ.
Well,
That escalated quickly.
now I'm like obsessed. I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I click on more of their songs?
Is it because you love the music or you're fantasizing about Courtney the Plant naked?
You know, I
or
think
both?
it's the music.
Yeah, okay.
Because
well, mine's
the
both.
first
Whatever.
song, the first song I heard, is this an allusion to our
Yes.
maybe a new segment?
Yes. If we hurry up.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
the first song I heard from, I thought it was a dude.
What?
I thought it was like Kellen Quinlan or
The
whatever.
the
his name
Kelly
is.
scream?
Quinn?
Yeah.
Because
I thought it
when
was
she
like
was
that.
screaming or when she was singing?
Just all of it. She's got a tone that I think a feminine man can reach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever listened to Dance Gavin Dance?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there you
yeah,
go.
Yeah.
Well, that guy's a sexual predator, but whatever.
Anyway.
So,
Ooh.
all right, if we want to get into that, we need to hustle. Pop or alt?
It would be all just because how my musical palette has changed over the years. More of the alt stuff does it for me than
Same.
the pop stuff.
Same. Tyler.
Really, like I've been thinking on this all day, and this is why
But then
I knew it'd
lose
be a good
Chevelle.
topic.
Fuck.
Because
Fuck Chevelle, Polaris.
look, Chevelle's got to go. Seether's got to go.
Breaking
Stain's
Benjamin.
got to go. Breaking Benjamin's got to go.
Creed.
Deftones has to go. Creed has to go.
Red jumpsuit apparatus.
Thrice.
Slipknot.
Thrice
gotta
even
go, yeah.
even has to go because
Really?
since Hurricane they've been getting
Yeah,
radio
yeah.
play.
Bro,
Some radio.
I would
And then-
disagree. I think because the majority of Thrice is in that alt realm. If most of
But
what
they're-
they've
that's
done,
not who they are now.
no.
it doesn't matter. If most of what they've done,
What the topic is if the band has reached
okay,
pop
all right,
pop
then
success,
that's fair.
they're in
Okay.
that category.
I was gonna say because I felt like Thrice, in my opinion, is more of an
Yeah,
alt shit.
that's kind of
And I would say
But you keep
it
Norma
was up
Jean.
until
Listen,
Yeah,
you keep Norma Jean, you
exactly,
keep Greyhaven,
man.
you keep.
Oh Lord, Jesus.
There's so many.
I got
great
like
bands that you
brand
keep.
new on here, which is a good one.
You keep them. You keep Moths. You keep Currents. You keep Spirit Box.
You know what's
keep-
kind of funny is that
Spirit Box is getting
Look,
to a level.
if you
They
if you
are.
go
Getting
through
there.
They're not
if you
getting
go
radio
through my
play.
phone, you're gonna find
They're
more
touring with
stuff that
Shinedown.
is considered
doesn't mean they're getting
alternative.
radio play.
So I would have to stick with alternative.
Nice.
But it is so fucking painful what I have to give up.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
Lincoln,
dude, I have
Lincoln
to give
Park's
up so
gotta
much.
go.
Lincoln
Oh.
Park, dude. Listen, Fuel, Matchbox 20, Shinedown. I mean, you already said there's so many bands that I have to get rid of to keep.
Incubus gotta go.
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
Oh fuck! I'm out. I want the pop.
I want the pop. Yeah,
Even if they got one good song.
Bro, I
what
lose
else do we
Bullet.
got in here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
fuck
lose
you
Bullet,
guys on
but
your
I keep
weird
As I
music.
Lay Dying.
Foo Fighters gotta go.
Ooh, Foo
Kyler's
Fighters,
cool with
yeah.
that.
Yeah, fuck.
The Foo Fighters.
I love Foo Fighters.
Oh,
Didn't you have a
man.
segment on like, hey, Foo Fighters, you're a little too much hate?
Yeah.
Wasn't that
Yeah.
your guys?
That was the show with Ryan. I
Yeah,
said
it was.
Yeah.
Ryan brought that
I
up.
think it was Foo Fighters is
The
like-
greatest rock band.
Oh,
The-
before I
yeah.
forget though, that it kind of brings me to an interesting thought that like as I feel like as all of us get older, we're our taste is branching out more into the alternative shit.
Yeah.
Like you almost got to start
You know
with
why?
the pop and branch out.
Boredom.
Boredom. Yeah, it's
That's
that,
why I get rid of pop.
it's that sinful replication of the same bullshit. We need some original thoughts.
Now, I wish that I
Amity,
could
we're
keep,
talking to you.
I wish I could
You guys
take Breaking
suck.
Benjamin with me though,
I know.
Yeah.
because nobody does it better.
You
in that
can keep
pop
playing
realm
the
than
same
they do.
Breaking Ben chord. You
Don't
can keep
matter.
playing that. Yeah, I like
They're in
that.
drop B, bro. Playing
Yeah.
baritones. Give me that shit. Inject it into my veins. Yeah, inject it into my veins. All right. We got one more new segment we want to get into. And this is courtesy of one Derek Muncy. So
I also gave this or that.
you did. That's right.
Yeah,
You
because
did
I
give me
said
this
or that, and you're like, "What do you mean?" And I said breakdowns or solos, and you were like, "Fuck you."
That's awesome. So, Derek's contributed 2 segments now. And this newest one, you've all heard a fuck one, marry one, kill one. All right, Barbara Walters, Oprah Winfrey, your wife. Fuck one, marry one, kill one, go. All right.
Get out of my office.
So we're going to do fuck one, marry one, kill one, band edition. And I've got one for Tyler to start things off while everybody else thinks of
motherfucker.
some. Yeah, fuck you.
What the fuck?
All right. Fuck one, marry one, kill one. You ready? Norma Jean, Thrice, Greyhaven. Because those are like your 3 like absolute go-tos. You got to fuck one, marry one, kill one.
So what does it mean to fuck and what does it mean to marry?
All right. Marry you're keeping forever.
Because I ain't been doing neither of them. We're striking out.
My dick's been on strike for 6 months.
I'm going hungry.
Oh, fuck.
We have
It's
derailed.
a little dry down there.
So-
Gotta put a little
so-
lotion on it once
All right.
in a while.
So, fuck one, you get it sometimes.
Get it sometimes.
You get it on the side.
Maybe just once.
Marry one, you get it forever. Kill,
Kill
one,
one
it's
is obvious.
gone
It's
forever.
It's got to go.
Norma Jean, Thrice, Greyhaven.
It's the kill one that gets me.
Gets you. Yeah. That's your toughest one.
I think I got one for this one. I think
Okay.
I know what I would
For
do.
who?
I think I'm marrying Norma Jean,
Okay.
killing Thrice,
Yep.
and fucking Greyhaven.
I think I'm marrying Norma Jean, fucking Thrice, and killing Greyhaven.
I could switch. I could switch on
I'm
this
marrying
one.
Norma
Yeah.
Jean. That's fact. And I think I
Yeah.
would. Tyler's probably surprised that I said I would
I'm
fuck
marrying Norma
Thrice and kill Greyhaven. Greyhaven just.
I'm not surprised because I've gotten you into some thrice.
Greyhaven live is great, but on the record, I think they're fucking terrible.
You know what?
All right, so I'm going to
that
marry
too, now I love
thrice.
'em.
I'm going to marry
Ooh.
thrice because
Fuck
you know I
you.
have to.
I know where I know what he's going to do.
I think I did too.
Don't you dare do it. You better do what
He
I think
is.
you're going to
He's
do. Or I'm
doing
gonna kill you.
He's-
I'm going to have
he's
to
killing
fuck
Norma Jean.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, bitch.
Oh, you had to say
Fuck
her
Greyhaven.
first.
Only because Norma Jean has more out there.
Yeah, yeah.
More
more
content. That's
for
fair.
me to fuck than Greyhaven
Yeah,
does.
that's a good one.
Look, you can't have a mistress that only does missionary. All right.
We're talking missionary. We're talking missionary. We're talking that one where she's on her back and I'm on top.
You need a mistress that drops the deed.
Yeah. We need some reverse cowgirl in this bitch. All right, Preston. What are you doing there with Norma Jean Thrice and Greyhaven?
I gotta be a part of this?
Yes.
Why can't I listen to all of them,
You don't,
motherfucker?
you don't have to.
Whew. Oh my God, dude! I haven't even thought through it because I'm afraid to.
Fuck you. We ain't got time. Derek.
Ah,
What you got?
I done did it. I'm marrying Norma.
No.
Oh,
You said you
mean,
got
you
one.
mean I gotta get one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's do.
You said you had one for me before the show.
Oh, well, okay. Only because I look at you as more of the thrash guy.
Oh, God.
Fuck one, marry one, kill one. Metallica, Megadeth, and let's go Slayer.
I am. You're going to call me crazy. I'm marrying Megadeth.
Dave
I'm-
Mustaine is an angry
I'm
lover.
fucking Metallica. I'm killing Slayer.
Yeah,
In all fairness, I think Slayer's music sucks.
yeah.
Tom Araya is like the worst fucking vocalist in the history of metal.
I feel
And
like
all they did was play fast.
I
That's
feel
it.
like I could have put any other thrash-ish band on that third spot, and you would kill them.
Yeah.
And
Those
then
are
it
the
would just
two. I mean,
be
it's-
between you fucking American.
But are you surprised that I would pick Megadeth over Metallica? Because listen,
I think Megadeth would be the better lover because they're still angry about breaking up with Metallica.
yeah. So Megadeth just has a multitude of.
Megadeth is the jealous wife.
They are.
But I'm marrying Megadeth.
She's loyal.
Exactly.
Damn it.
Megadeth.
That's why
Dave
it's the
Mustaine
jealous
is
wife.
So much. Okay, Dave Mustaine is a superior guitarist to both Kirk Hammett and James Hetfield.
Yeah.
And his not only riff structure, the motherfucker invented his own chord progression, the spider chord. Like his chord progression, and then not only that, but his solo work that he does within Megadeth. He's had 50 million other guitarists in the band, and he still writes everything. And he's been doing it for 40 years, and he doesn't write the same riff twice like James Hetfield does. Megadeth writes better songs.
Yeah.
The entire Metallica Kill 'Em All album was written by Dave Mustaine.
Yeah.
So I prefer Megadeth.
So what you're saying is you get to have a threesome with your
Yes,
your
I get
wife
to.
and your mistress.
Yes,
and
absolutely. Because we both know that Lars and Dave Mustaine still love each other.
You know
So-
what that is like goddamn, I had a good analogy for that. Now it escaped my mind. Oh, Kyler just married for love. He married for love. He could have married for money.
I'm married for love.
He married for love.
Yep.
That's what I appreciate.
And
about you.
Slayer sucks.
Yeah.
They had like 2 good songs: Black Magic, Angel of Death, and
I mean,
Raining Blood. was
Who
okay.
else could you put in that spot that would even compete for you?
With Megadeth and Metallica?
I don't think anybody.
Oh, Dokken.
Dokken.
Yeah.
They would make you second guess, but you'd still kill
Yeah,
Dokken.
Dokken would make me second guess, but again, totally different style.
You'd be
of
like, I really want to fuck you, but
Yeah, if we're going, I would still kill him over the 2 because hair metal was groovy, but it wasn't angry.
Yeah.
Megadeth is angry.
well, and I think that's why we like Dokken because they felt different.
Dokken was so much better than any other band in the hair metal genre, in my
Except for
opinion,
Rat.
except for Rat. Those 2 bands are head and shoulders above the Motley Crues, the Poisons, the fucking Wingers, all that shit. They're just Cinderella's probably up there too. If your dad's listening, he's like, "You're a Cinderella." If you listen to the special ed episode, Ed talked about how much he loves Cinderella.
It's his favorite band.
But yeah, so I would marry Megadeth, fuck Metallica, kill Slayer. That was a good one.
I'm having trouble putting three bands together that are making me.
You got to tailor make like how I did with Tyler with Norma Jean, Greyhaven, and Thrice, because I know all three of those really speak to his heart. So I made him think. Like for Preston, I would go Polaris, Moths, and
That's what I was thinking. Periphery.
No, he would kill Periphery out of those two. You really got to make him think. You got to go like, oh God, what's a good one?
Polaris,
Monuments would be a good one.
All right, let's do it.
Polaris, Moths, or Monuments. Fuck one, marry one, kill one.
I'd marry Polaris.
That's
I
easy.
would fuck Moths, and I would kill Monuments.
I think I would do the same because Monuments really only has 2 albums for me that really speak to me. Moths has like 4.
I'm probably killing Monuments, but I'm probably marrying Moths.
Ooh.
And here's why.
Same as me. Okay.
Same.
No,
Is that what
you
you
said
Yeah,
marry
I thought
Polaris.
you said marry Polaris.
Oh, Mary. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not.
I think I'm fucking Polaris because they haven't come out with as much stuff.
Yeah.
Their catalog is getting a little small.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get tired of it.
Unfortunately.
I'm gonna get tired of it, and I'm gonna be like, look.
Yeah,
I
that's valid.
I need a new piece of pussy.
Yeah.
That's fair. And the thing is,
Do you still got Malt's number in your phone?
yeah, Moths, you can have some shit that's disgusting, like their new shit, or even No Eternity in Gold, and then go listen to Dark Divine and cry.
Yeah.
Like, so there's so much different shit in there. Tyler, I'm curious about you would probably marry Moths, fuck Polaris, kill Monuments too, wouldn't you?
That's exactly what I would do.
Man, I hate that because I love Monuments, bro.
I do too.
I
know.
fucking love Monuments.
We should go maybe a little more like Mount Rushmore of rock one.
That would be a good one.
Led Zeppelin, Van Halen.
That does nothing for me.
Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, Metallica.
So
fuck one,
that
marry
does
one,
nothing
kill
for
one.
me.
I
Led
got
Zeppelin's
one
useless.
that's more dad rock.
Okay. Oh, I was trying to put 3 good, like solid.
He's
dad
So
gonna
rock
go
look-
fucking Crossfade, Breaking Benjamin, and
I'm marrying them all.
Chevelle.
We're moving to Utah.
Close. I was gonna say Breaking Benjamin,
Chevelle.
Chevelle, and Creed.
Oh, I'll go first. Marry Breaking Benjamin, fuck Creed, kill Chevelle.
Ooh.
That was too easy.
Way too easy. Chevelle's got like 3 songs I like.
Oh man.
Creed has like 50.
That's why I'm probably fucking.
And
Chevelle.
Breaking Benjamin has everyone they've ever written.
I'm probably fucking Chevelle, but this is where it's gonna get weird.
You're killing Creed?
I think I am killing Creed.
Oh, the blasphemy in the sanctuary in Scott Stapp we trust.
You know
piece
why?
of shit. You love Mark Tremonti.
That's it.
Exactly.
I
He
love
likes
Mark
your money.
Tremonti.
Fuck you, Scott. He don't give a fuck.
I know
about
I'm in the
stuff.
sanctuary of Scotty Too Hottie. I'm a Miles Kennedy guy.
Okay.
Yep, me too. I am too.
I
Look
think
at me.
Alter Bridge is the superior band.
Agreed.
And they don't get the goddamn credit like Creed did
I don't know, bro. They still play
They do.
sellout stadiums.
in Europe.
Mm.
I've seen them with 10,000 people here in the States.
Yep.
But they do play like
They do.
Sonic Temple and shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I think Marion Breaking Ben is the good move.
I don't think anybody
They're
disagrees.
the
with that,
most
do we?
stable. They're the stable.
Tyler might, but
They're the meat and potatoes of that threesome right there.
Mm.
Creed is crazy. You either got to one time and done or get rid of them right off the bat, because of the off stage or actually on stage activities.
the super drunk bald Scott Stapp in the black silk shirt.
Preston, what
Chevelle.
you doing?
Chevelle's gonna stick around, but I don't think she's gonna be spiteful.
Here's the thing: Chevelle has 1 or 2 albums that are like unlistenable for me.
I see where you're coming from.
It's
there.
just different.
Creed
Yeah.
doesn't like.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And
That's
Breaking
true.
Benjamin sure as hell does. I know you guys don't like Eden, but
I actually do.
or not? Is it Eden? Is
Dark
that the one
Before
you
Dawn.
No,
Dark Before Dawn you don't like.
That's one of my favorites.
Same. Love
Yeah,
it.
I know these guys don't like it.
Love it. You and me both, bro.
Yeah.
Love it.
You want to go cry in the car after
I
this?
do. I wish you still had the green Jeep because
I
we
do
would go
too.
cry
We-
in
yeah,
the
we'd be
Pioneer
driving around
stereo.
jamming
listening
it.
to-
So, I would go with Kill Creed, and I hate to say that because I love Creed. I enjoy Creed.
What is going
You
on in the
Chevelle
sanctuary
meat-riding
of
motherfucker.
Scott
I love
Stapp?
And maybe somebody will think, yeah, that's what I thought, and others might think, whoa,
Yeah.
I would marry Chevelle.
Oh
And
my
I would-
Christ! He's just saying that because he's been on a Chevelle
No,
kick
so
lately.
I literally don't
You're
listen.
so full of shit.
I don't listen to Breaking Benjamin anymore. I don't.
You just talked about like 2 or 3 episodes ago how great they are and how much you still listen to their music.
I
You're
don't
so
know
hypocritical
I don't
right
know
here.
that I said that, but I don't
That's why
deny
he's-
that they're great. But
That's
like,
why he's banging them, because he's still talking
We're
about
like-
Chevelle.
I will delve into Breaking Benjamin, like an album of theirs, once every 3 months probably.
I mean, whatever. It's all subjective, but
And Chevelle, I listen to a song of Chevelle every single day. Every day. And they got like 3 albums that I'm fucking in love with. The whole damn thing. And I love Breaking Benjamin. That's hard for me. I mean, that's a hard decision, but it would be Chevelle.
so you said marry Chevelle, fuck Breaking Benjamin,
Yep.
kill Creed.
Yep. And
Okay.
for a long time there, it was marry Breaking Benjamin.
Woohoo. I think I got another.
I would marry Chevelle. I would fuck Breaking Benjamin, and I would kill Creed.
That surprises me.
Oh
out of
my
you.
God, we got 3
That-
Creed
So
assassinations in a
here's
row.
The thing.
Ouch, man, I
Sorry,
didn't think
Scotty.
that either.
Look,
damn.
Creed's great, but they don't really compete
Wow.
with Breaking Benjamin or Chevelle to me. I think Mark Tremonti kind of made the band.
did.
I am a fan of Scott Stapp. I think they wrote good songs, but I
Yep.
think a lot of that was, old
What
Tremonti.
album does
But-
Chevelle have that compares to My Own Prison
Venus-
or Human Clay?
Venusira.
So
Venusira, however you pronounce it.
I can't ever
The one
remember
with the red
names,
on it.
bro. You
That's
can't-
the only.
No,
That's like
not
their
that
best
one.
song, dude.
Not
I
that
know-
one. No,
I-
it's not.
So
what's,
look-
what's the one with the
Promise
aliens
you.
on the cover?
You've never even delved into them.
I
like,
can't.
So
it's
look,
not that good.
Wonder What's Next, This Type of Thinking, Venezuela, Sci-Fi Crimes.
Sci-fi crimes.
I didn't get into La Gorgola, however the
La
fuck you say.
Gorgola, yeah. Sean enjoyed
look,
that
the
album.
North Corridor, when those songs hit the radio and I heard them for the first time, bro, the fucking the tone and
Yep.
how angry they were is just pissed off, and I was like, that was kind of part. I've talked about it on the show a little bit. Part of where some of these bands that were kind of forced to go a little bit mainstream have over time started to go back more, get more heavy. Breaking Benjamin is an example of that too. But it's like, I will listen to Chevelle over Breaking Benjamin every day, any day.
Yeah.
I do have Breaking Benjamin on my tattoo sleeve. Chevelle is not on there. What I will say is the only reason Chevelle is not on here is because there's really no album cover that they have
Yeah.
that I care to have tattooed on me.
Yeah.
But Breaking Benjamin's album,
Phobia.
that made it to my arm because I think that was the best album of that whole
Genre.
scene, the whole
Yeah.
genre. And I think they really took over that genre through that album. But at the same time, I go back and listen to Chevelle, and I am, that is my shit. I think they write great songs. I think they write amazing songs for being a 3-piece. I think they have a great sound. I think they are angrier and invoke more feeling to me than Breaking Benjamin does. And then I just don't think Creed really competes against either of
I'd
them.
rather listen to fucking Godsmack than Chevelle.
And that's fair.
Hey,
Not that I don't like Chevelle. But you real quick. You said you got one. Let's run through it real quick. If you got a good one.
New Rock.
Okay.
A New Rock one.
Rock.
New Rock.
Okay.
In New Rock. Stained. Limp Bizkit. Linkin Park. Fuck one, marry one, kill one.
Marry Lincoln Park. Fuck Stain. Kill Limp Bizkit.
I think
Easy.
I think that's the easy one, but I think I'm marrying Stained and fucking Linkin Park.
That's fair. You could go either way with those. Yeah.
I think Limp Bizkit's getting.
I just love Chester. Like
Yeah.
I have more of a emotional connection
You know
to their
what though?
music.
You guys said something on one of the prior episodes that kind of got my wheels turning. A band can ruin its reputation, and for me, it wasn't the when I started moving away from Linkin Park, it wasn't the Minutes to Midnight album. You know, that's kind of a cool, whatever that one song off that is.
Transformers album
Yeah,
is
it's
what
kinda-
I call that one.
It's kind of cool. When they started doing like the EDM techno shit, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm done. You ruined your reputation for me.
Sure.
Because you went and did the cool popular thing.
Yeah.
You didn't go back to your roots.
Nope, I get it.
Anyway.
I just Limp Bizkit's an easy kill for me on
I
that
think
one.
so. All right, maybe that wasn't a good one. Fuck.
No, that's all right.
We're still testing that one out. I think that could be a good addition, but it's got to be tailored.
There's got to be some thought put into that one.
Yeah, we're just out here winging it.
Yeah, that's what we do, bro. We riff. Well, we are well over on our time limit, but we don't really have time limits on this show. So.
Kiss my ass.
Yeah, we said we were probably going to go 3 hours on this pod, and we definitely did that. You just when you got Derek on the show, you just can't limit that shit because the conversation just flows so effortlessly. So I think we spoke to a lot of folks tonight, the gearheads, the musicians, the music fans. So if you've hung on all the way through to the end, y'all are loyal as fuck. We appreciate the shit out of you. So thanks again, Derek, for coming back on, driving out here from Dayton on a Friday night and hanging out with us. It's gonna be a recurring thing, bro. We're just It's just too much good content to just have you on.
I think
once
it's
or twice.
I think it's gonna keep getting better.
That's right.
And I'm gonna give a shameless plug for you guys. I love you guys. I think it's going great. The episodes to me keep getting better and better. You know, the only thing I hope is we get a few more seasons out of it because I think it's gonna keep growing and you know, get a presence at some local shows and shit like that. You guys, when I hear you guys talk about the band and the direction of the band, I get super excited. When I hear you guys talk about the direction of the podcast, I get super excited equally because it's like, I feel like it's going to be hand in hand.
Tyler, what's your favorite saying when it comes to the pod? If you build it, they will come.
Shit, I'll come no matter
So-
what, baby.
We keep building.
I'm gonna get my rough.
We keep building it. We're not giving up. You know, we had somebody comment on one of our YouTube videos that, you know, keep doing what you're doing. You guys are super laid back and down to earth guys that clearly love what you're doing, and we definitely do. And we hope you guys love it too. Guys and gals love it too. So thank you so much for listening. As always, go follow our social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at TSIS Podcast. If you haven't subscribed to Patreon yet, hop on there, subscribe to our Backstage Pass, $5 a month. Get all the fucking content all at once, plus all of the bonus content that we're doing, and be able to interact with us one-on-one. So thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate the shit out of you. We love every one of you. And until next time, we are the Screaming Idiots. We'll see you next week. Peace, love, dove.
Holy shit.